You don't call a sandwich a bread sandwich.
Yeah, I mean, you can do.
You can do, but that
what
has
about
bread in
toast sandwiches?
No, but that has the toast in the centre. So if I say a Matt sandwich, that means a Matt has to be in the centre.
But also, it'll be a Momo sandwich too, because it'll go Wib, then Matt, then Snipe, then Questions, which is me again. So we're sort of both in the centre. It's like a club. We're like a big club sandwich.
We're like a Big Mac, but
Big
with
Matt.
2 bits. Big Matt, yeah. Hello and welcome to episode 73 of the MisanthroPod. I'm Snipe, and as always, I'm joined by Whip. Say hello.
Hello there.
I am also joined by drummer Matt. Say hello.
Hello.
Have either of you ever tried 73 as a sex number? I mean, how are you today? But also, my first question was is still standing.
Well, since the thing about 73 as a sex number is a joke from before the podcast recording is a thing, so people won't understand what we're talking about. I can say uncategorically, yes, I've 73'd a lot. But I'm okay, despite all the 73ing.
Oh, does it do your back in?
Really fucks you
Drama,
back up.
do you like being the 7 or the 3?
I mean, usually I go for the 5. I go for like a bit of both.
Oh, okay. So you're versatile with your 7s and your 3s. That's
I think most people would be, but you just have to open your mind a bit to it to start with.
Yeah, I think people maybe start off as a 7 or as a 3,
and
they
then
just kind of feel like they want to stick with what they know,
you get
because
stuck
it can
in
be
a
a little
role.
bit intimidating.
Yeah, of course.
Feel free in the comments to write down what you believe a 73 would be.
Whether you are a 7 or a 3.
Yeah, or a verse. That's cool too.
Shall we go and do the podcast?
Yes, okay, so we've got some general stuff to talk about now. There's some 40k news.
There is indeed, yes.
Yeah, they've got a new Abaddon model where it looks like he's got a space heater on his bum.
He does.
And he's also playing tennis.
We have all seen the Photoshop jokes, yes.
Yeah.
So Abaddon the Despoiler has got a new model for the first time since like 2nd edition.
He does look like he's playing tennis, doesn't he?
I know, right? He's like, your serve, 40, love.
And I think the model looks pretty fucking great, honestly.
I think it looks good. I mean, like, the whole, like, really fancy character models are always a little bit over-detailed for me anyway.
I get you.
But I like how he comes with 3 different heads, so you can have, like, normal stoic Abaddon, or Abaddon, or I'm dusting a house Abaddon and I'm allergic to dust, so he's got his little
housework Abaddon.
Housework Abaddon.
You just replace his sword with like a sweeping brush or something.
A feather duster.
Yeah.
Ooh, like he ties like a cute little maid outfit to the outside of his power armor.
We're not talking about Abaddon's cute maid outfit.
Yeah, I really...
He's going to join the bandmaid.
Yeah, he is. He's going to be on, I don't know, xylophone.
Abaddon is a fucking Japanese idol now.
He is, yeah. But to be fair, he always has been, and we've always known this.
That's true. But yeah, you can also have him with cape or without cape.
Yeah.
Since the old one didn't have a cape. I don't think so.
I mean, I personally would probably have him without a cape so I can, like, show off his butt heater.
Yeah, because he'd have a little thing that looks like a space heater.
It's got, like, a little on and off switch
latched
next to it.
just above his butt for reasons I don't quite understand.
He gets a chilly butt.
I mean, I did speculate that it was because of the raw, cold, chaotic energies emanating from his anus.
Yeah,
it's been known to happen.
And it's to keep the troops that he's fighting with behind him warm, so they don't get frostbite from his butthole.
Yeah, so that's actually really sweet of him.
He's a better leader than people give him credit for.
He really is, you know? I mean, he's got problems.
Moving on. Moving swiftly on. There's also, we've been, for quite a while now, we've been getting slowly more information about the new box set Shadow Spear.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, before that, we haven't asked Matt, what was your opinion on the new Abaddon model?
Yeah, it's fine.
Good.
Thank you. Thank you, drummer Matt.
So now, Matt, can you give us your in-depth opinions on Shadow Spear?
Yeah. Looks good.
Cool. Yeah. No.
It's fine.
No, good. You heard it here first,
I like
everybody.
I like the big beetle spider thing. He's cool.
It's actually pretty rad, yeah.
It's a big bag Beetleborg.
So obviously, if somehow you've missed this new box set coming out that has Vanguard Space Marines who are like Primaris that are all in the like slimmer version of Mark 10 armor. Well, most of them are in the slimmer version of Mark 10 armor that Reavers wear. And versus Chaos. And we'll get to the Marines in a second, but I just want to say about the Chaos stuff. I'm really glad that they seem to be finally actually rolling out the aesthetic that's on all Chaos, like nearly all Chaos Space Marine models now, onto the basic Chaos Marines. Because the basic Chaos Marines are using models from like the early 2000s, I believe.
Yeah.
And they look so out of place with everything that's been released since then. Like, especially, I think it was like Dark Vengeance in 6th edition.
Not entirely if you put the old Abaddon model there.
Well, I mean, yeah. Some of the old character models do match with them. But it's like an aesthetic that I think... The first thing I saw them in, were like that style of aesthetic, was probably the Space Marine video game.
Oh, dang.
And they started doing it there, and I was like, Chaos Marines look so much better like that. And then a little while later, 6th edition came out, and they were using it for Dark Vengeance. And it was like, I really like that thing. And then they just released like one aspiring champion, I think it was, and then nothing else.
Yeah.
For the regular Chaos Marines, like they had their jump troops, which I always forget the name of, Raptors.
Raptors, yeah. They have like little spiky feet.
Yeah, and they released like lots of little things that have used that kind of aesthetic, and they've all looked really cool. But then just the basic Chaos Marines have just been the old ones ever since, and it's...
Well, at least they're finally getting around to it now.
Yeah, I'm hoping that, because I remember I saw something on the Warhammer community where they were talking about that the stuff here is kind of just a start, and they'll be releasing stuff in this aesthetic like properly at some point afterwards. So hopefully the Chaos Marines actually get a proper thing. And of course the big possessed boys are pretty rad as well.
Yeah.
And then of course we have the Space Marines, which have one unit in particular has driven discourse wild.
Oh yeah.
The Suppressors, which are the new jump troops that are basically Inceptors, but with autocannons. But yeah, they're basically like normal, and they're kind of like normal Inceptors, but with big autocannons. And I have seen a lot of people do not like them. They are very upset by them. I didn't think I had strong feelings about them, but I apparently do.
This is all you've talked about.
Okay.
Since they've been revealed.
Okay.
Okay, no, I get it. They don't have full-on jump packs. Okay, they do the hop, but they're still on flying bases, and they still move 12, which is bum.
If the leaked rules are true.
If the leaks are true. And it's like, no, I get that. That's really fucking stupid.
But I wasn't actually going to talk about them. Because I basically acknowledge like straight away that I have strong opinions about them, and I don't want to. Because it's really dumb to have such... Like, I genuinely... Like, I actually like the look of the models. I actually quite like them, especially in the Shadow Spear box. Like, I think those actually look really good. But there's just lots of little details on them that drive me nuts.
No, I get that.
But it is me being so petty.
Yeah, a little bit.
That
You're being such a fanboy, TM.
Yeah, kind of. I'm letting these things get on top of me. Although, actually, in legitimately, the fact that there's lots of things, the things like the jump pack thing, is to me is just about consistency across the range for easy readability of what something is. Because the guns kind of do that, but it does seem weird to me to have units that look so much like another unit, but that travel in a different way, but sit on the same bases, and it just seems strange to me to do it like that.
No, I get
it seems
that.
like there would be other ways of doing it that would not be quite as inconsistent from
I understand it from like a
silhouette
purely
kind
like
of
target readability kind of standpoint. Yeah.
But whatever.
But I was just yanking your chain.
I know.
You are missing out the most important character, the
Yes.
most important model reveal.
Yes.
The Vanguard Lieutenant. Captain Lieutenant Upside Down Face Man.
Yes.
He is so important.
Yeah, if you turn the image upside down, he still has a face.
He has like a really short face and a high forehead.
It's pretty great.
Yeah, Captain
Once you
Lieutenant
see it,
Upside
you
Down
can't
Face Man.
unsee it.
Yeah, that's literally all I can see.
I mean, I really quite
And
like...
it's amazing.
I do love, like, the half, like, face mask thing.
Well, yeah, you just turn... I want to see someone turn that upside down and, like...
What, on the actual model?
On the actual model, and just have an actual model of Captain Lieutenant Upside Down Face Man.
Someone will do it. Someone will do it. But the other problem with that Vanguard Lieutenant is I do feel like he's a bit overburdened with detail.
Yeah, let me...
Why does he have two knife scabbards next to each other on the same side?
One is silvered, one is steel, one's for monsters, one's for different kinds of monsters.
I thought this was going to be like one's for starter and one's for the main course.
No, my reference was way better.
Yeah, well, your
yeah.
reference actually makes sense a little bit.
Yeah, thank you.
Which is possibly the first time I've ever said that to you on a podcast.
I know, and I'm so glad I have it on tape so I can just play it in the dead of night with you. What you said actually kind of made sense, and I'll just be so happy. But yeah, I think I think it was Coco Chanel said, before you leave the house, remove 2 accessories. This guy thought she said add 20. It's a bit excessive.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even like, because 40k, you know,
I get it.
quite often there are things that are a bit overburdened with detail. That is true, but
Yeah, but
I
this
don't know,
is just
something
messy.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because most Primaris figures and the Reavers that these are obviously based on are quite limited in detail because Primaris have like one look, and it's just how you paint them.
Sorry, I've just noticed his upside down face again. I'm just going to scroll down so I can't see anything.
So Primaris that have got a bit more detail on them look cluttered in comparison.
That might be it, actually. Yeah.
I think it's also because I really don't like the little visor he's got.
I don't mind it. I mean, it protects his chin, so I mean.
Although I do really like the Sniper Marines.
They are really cool.
Really cool.
Yeah.
What are they actually even called? Eliminators.
I always really like sniper models. They just don't. They very rarely work in a game.
Yeah.
Oh, if you like snipers, Sniper Scouts for Space Marines actually work really well these days.
Yeah, cool.
That's basically I remember hearing tales of in tournaments. A lot of people just not taking regular Marines and they just always take like Sniper Scouts. So I don't know if that's still the case, but I know that was for a little while. At least according to people I read. Basically, I'm secondhand going. I'm probably like completely wrong. It's fine.
You speak with enough authority in a British accent, everyone will listen to you.
A lot of people make careers off that. Who am I throwing shade at? Who knows? But yeah. So Shadow Spears, look, an interesting mixed bag, and it's got people talking.
Yeah.
There's heavy discourse on it,
Yep.
especially from people figuring out how to modify those suppressors to make them look how they want them to look.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, I'm not super fussed about them, but you know,
I really don't
right.
have a particularly strong feeling about them.
Yeah. Do you have anything to say about them, Matt?
This probably isn't a new thing, but I really like their bendy flying bases.
They're horrible.
Yeah?
They're absolutely awful. The connector
To work
on
with,
the top
or... Okay, yeah.
the connector on the top of them is so small, and
It's like a tiny little thing that you just have to hinge them on, basically.
yeah, and it sits on. It doesn't like, you know how the old ones had like a little peg that fits inside the model, so they have something to hold on to. These don't. You have to glue them to the model, so you can't take them off. And the position point is quite small, so magnetizing them isn't even like super easy. They're the fucking worst. That is why quite often you will see people with Inceptors just glued to the bases because they've snapped off them too many times.
Well, there was that big diorama we were looking at Warhammer World where they'd literally just not even used them and just glued them to the actual fucking diorama.
Yeah, that should tell you how good they are. They are on paper. They look great. Yeah. To use, they're horrible. Sorry to destroy that illusion there.
Oh, well, I'll just shut up and have no more opinions then. That's fine.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
You do realise that's the only reason people like listen to this podcast is for John and Matt's opinions, right?
It can't be for
have
mine.
It's not for mine either, because I don't think I ever come out with opinions, just kind of screeching and the occasional like.
You have
swear
never
word.
once had an opinion.
No,
You do good. You do the good lies.
I don't lie ever. I have never lied, and I will stab anyone who says differently. Not that I've ever stabbed someone.
Apart from that one guy. Anyway, speaking of the people that you've killed, one last thing to mention is that they have announced a new line of books called Warhammer Horror.
Which I love the idea of. I want.
Yeah, going to be focusing on horror stuff. Some of it is already existing things like I think it's Drachenfels. I've never had to say that out loud.
Starts with a D.
It's a vampire novel that was pre-Black Library. That was written by a guy under a pseudonym. And all, see, I had to look at his Wikipedia page, and he wrote a shitload of vampire books.
He just really likes vampires,
yeah,
which
so
I can respect.
So he wrote the one for 40k.
He spelled werewolves wrong, but okay.
But yeah, he wrote the one for Warhammer Fantasy, sorry. So they're re-releasing that under this line, and they've got a bunch more that are being released. One of which is the audiobook is being read by the guy that played Pinhead.
Oh, what's his name?
I don't remember.
Shit.
I've never seen Hellraiser. I feel like I should.
It's fine. I mean, Longfang really likes it. I have negative connotations associated with it, so I think even if it was, if it is considered a very good movie, I would not actually be able to accept that opinion because of my tainted past with it.
That's fine.
Or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Could be anything, really.
It could be anything. But we obviously haven't had that come out yet. But I'm super interested in that because horror is something that I feel is a real good fit for both Warhammer, Age of Sigmar now, and 40k.
Yeah.
I think both could benefit greatly.
40k has so many elements of it that are so ripe for horror stories. Like, the warp in and of itself is a fucking horror story.
The warp is like
Chaos.
being inside H.P. Lovecraft's butthole.
Yeah,
so
exactly. And it's like the things you could do
But less
with just...
racist.
I was going to say it's really dark in there, which he really doesn't like.
Fucking hell, guys.
This is where some prick in the comments will be like, actually, he was a xenophobe, not a racist. Fuck off!
Actually, it's mauve, not fuck off, mate. Anyway, H.P. Lovecraft was a fucking dick. Moving on. There's so many things that you could, there's bits in, the Black Library novels where you have normal people just kind of experiencing chaos and stuff like that, but they don't know what it is. And that is fucking scary. It's like the whole Cthulhu kind of mythos and, speaking of H.P. Lovecraft and stuff like that, and that kind of horror where the horror is confusion.
Yeah.
And it's even though you, the reader, will know what some of these things are, the fact that I feel that if you weren't to name these things, it's oh yeah, there's someone just encounters I don't know, someone ripping a demon ripping out of somebody's body,
pink horror ripping its way into reality.
its way into their fucking market. That is going to be... That's perfect. It's you don't even really need to mention the Space Marines or
just
anything
the subtle
like that.
whispers of the warp on an unguarded mind.
Exactly. You fancy bastard. But yeah, so it's there's so many creepy things in 40k that you could just go nuts with.
Yeah, or alternately, they could just reprint all of Ian Watson's books and just call them horrors.
Or they couldn't, ever, and should not do that legally, because then they should be in jail forever, because that's a legitimate crime.
The latest White Dwarf has index assassins in it, and it references Mother Gullet, which is in itself a reference to Inquisitor. So Ian Watson's taint, and we almost deal with his taint, has not left. It has been officially canonized. It is officially still there in 8th edition.
What did you keep calling him? A slimy little sex goblin?
I may have called him a slimy little sex goblin at some point, yes.
That suits him, yeah. There's one picture of him, and it is so creepy and intense.
So terrifying.
It feels like that is you look out into the warp without a Geller field, and his face is what you see.
Yes. That
That's
intense
the
stare.
face. That's the void staring back at you.
That's what they were talking about. When if you stare at the void stares back. It's
The
him.
void.
It's that one picture of Ian Watson.
You imagine seeing him in real life, and he's just literally a still image over his face, walking around being completely two-dimensional, but his body is three-dimensional.
One day I'm going to find out, and part of me wants to find out that there'll be an interview with him from like a year ago, and he really regrets all the weird sex shit that he wrote, and
I hope
he's a
so.
really nice guy.
I really hope that he was just being really misguided and weird, because all that sex stuff is just so deeply troublesome.
Yeah. And it's not that it's sex stuff. The fact it's sex stuff, it's fine. It's the context within which it occurs that's creepy.
It is done in incredibly poor taste.
Yes. But yeah, a part of me would like to know that he was actually a nice guy and this was just a misguided thing previously.
Fucking Mr. JPEG face.
But because all I know him from is his writing, and his writing does not give me a good opinion of the man.
No.
But anyway, let's not talk about let's not talk about this person anymore, because that's bad. But
anyway, I think that's it for
generalized Warhammer
general
news.
Warhambles. So Wibble it, just a little bit. What have you been up to?
Just a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah. Not much, honestly.
Okay, drama mat.
I must say, give me my piece.
Right.
I honestly been having, because we said about reducing our schedule. So I've been sort of having a bit of a break from things.
Yay! Oh, I'm so happy for you.
Took us a long while.
Yeah.
Work begins again. I mean, we might not. Okay, there's stuff to start doing like in earnest
immediately
this week.
After we finish this podcast, we're probably going to have lunch, and then get back to fucking work.
Yeah, but so I've been getting on with other things, but I've somehow also managed to do nothing. But what I have been doing is, carried on chipping away at Bloodborne a little bit. Not too much. I've only beaten like one more boss in 2 weeks, because I've only played it a couple of times.
Yeah.
I beat the Witch of Hemwick, I think she's called.
I went to school with her.
You went to school with her, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
In that really little shitty backwater town I lived in.
Actually, having seen the witch and having lived in that town for a while, I absolutely know you're correct. Which is not a difficult boss fight; it's just a weird one.
Again,
I've now got I think the next thing I've got to fight is Vicar Amelia. So oh god,
Vicar Amelia is my ultimate werewife.
She's really cool, but
she's so good.
She's scary, very quick.
She just screams.
She also, when she gets down to really low health, starts healing herself, which is
that's jerky.
That is the number one crime.
That is a literal crime that you will go to jail.
Whoever designed that boss fight should go to jail.
They are in jail. Actually, I put them there myself. Citizen's arrest.
I've also been playing a lot of Minecraft because we played it on stream, and I've just kind of got the bug for it again.
Oh, is it you just playing vanilla?
I've been playing vanilla. I have reinstalled one of the Tech-It packs, and it routinely crashes every 5 minutes. Okay. So I'm trying to remember.
Like the Tech-It minigame is trying to make it fucking function.
Yeah, getting Minecraft mods to function properly. That's the trick of what setting do I have to turn down to make everything function. I also played a slightly unusual stream where I played the original Front Mission, which is a SNES mech combat game.
Yeah, cool.
I'm doing the shop music because we always use that in videos, and people were like, oh, that's where you get the music for.
Whenever there is a menu screen in a video, people probably notice there's a certain piece of music that plays. That is the shop music from Front Mission.
Okay.
That is just me entertaining myself, and it just kind of is stuck as a weird reoccurring... Does it count as a gag? If only I'm laughing.
I don't know, that's literally the basis of all my comedic timing.
Fair point. So, but anyway, so it was a few people did come in and were like, oh, so that's where it's from, okay.
And then we banned them immediately for, peeking behind the curtain.
Which is a game that's like 80% menus, but I had fun. So if other people didn't enjoy it, well, that's on them.
That's their problem.
But apart from that, what I've done most is I have been watching a sci-fi.
Okay.
And it's not Star Trek Discovery. Although I have watched the last 2 episodes of it, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but I cannot remember anything about them right now.
You've had like an hour's sleep, so I think you're allowed.
I remember them being alright. Like that's the thing.
I remember we were walking to town the other day, and you were talking about how much you liked the stuff they were doing with Tilly.
Oh yeah, Tilly's great.
And how there's like a lot of nice touches there. And how there was a couple of things that happened that made you go, nope, this is not the main timeline.
Oh, yeah, what was it?
Why am I remembering this better
know.
than you?
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, it was it was because we've finally met Spock, who was like in all the trailers, and he's been talked about in basically every episode, but he's only appeared like now. And he's got a beard, so that's the thing.
Cool.
But yeah, because they're like filling in bits of his backstory, it is that thing where you're going, you should probably stop doing that quite so much, because of the prequel stuff that like is not great about it. The thing that is probably the most why did you bother is all of the Spock stuff. Bringing Michael being his adopted
I can
sister.
tell you exactly why they did
it's
that.
for recognition.
And so they can add recognition and legitimacy to it. So it's like, you see, these characters, you can care about these characters because she's the long lost sister of Spock. It's that kind of, you just need to tie it back to something that people have already established as something that they like. So it's like why a lot of really badly written sequels will literally verbatim quote a lot of the first movie. Although Terminator 2 doesn't count because Terminator 2 is one of the best movies of all fucking time. Because that's recontextualizing quotes, and it also shows a lot of character development from Sarah Connor in the first one to being just a standard normal person to being a fucking kick-ass ready for like...
Okay, we're not talking about Terminator 2
again. We need to talk about Terminator 2, it's so important!
We've talked about it many times on the podcast.
When? I know, like, Ren brought it up, like, once, but then you put the kibosh on it immediately.
No, we did. We talked about Robert Patrick's balls for, like, half an hour.
I don't remember that. In fact, I have a few points I'd like to go over about
we're not
Robert
talking
Patrick's
balls. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's, there's the things they do about with Spock's backstory is just a bit like, I'm not super sold on it, but... whatever. There's actually a very good video on it that came out recently by a YouTuber called Steve Shives, which some people might be...
How do you spell the last name, just in case people want to have a look?
Shives.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's not Steve Chives, as you think he is when I say his name to you.
Yeah, I'm like, is it Steve Chives? I'm sorry.
No. But he did a video about his Discovery canon, and mild spoilers, the... conclusion is yes, because the makers of the show say it's canon and they have absolute control over what is canon and what isn't, which is absolutely true and accurate. But of course, when you watch a thing, it's up to you to how seriously you take everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Because canon is you can have your own canon, but as long as you accept that, that is in your head. Like when I talk about I don't think of Discovery as being part of the prime timeline. That's like entirely in my head because it is part of the prime timeline. It's
just that's your head canon to mean that you can enjoy it a lot more.
It turns off the part of the pedant in my brain by going at it like that. It means I can
turns
enjoy
off the nitpicky. Well, I think you'll find.
No, actually, they shouldn't have that technology now.
Yeah, yeah. It turns off that really annoying fucking guy at the back of the fucking convention.
Because like I say, I've been enjoying it, but for some reason, all the knowledge the last couple of episodes has fallen out of my head, and that sounds.
Because you've been cramming Blake 7.
That is probably the reason. Yes, I have spent the last week because I mentioned it a while ago in the podcast that I was trying to watch through Blake 7. I've finally broken the back of it.
Nice.
I went back and went, okay, I'm just going to start from the beginning, and I'm now up to season 3.
How many seasons are there?
4.
Oh. How many episodes per season?
13.
That's not so bad.
And I've been really enjoying it. I'm totally going to do a Super Eye Patch Wolf style why you should watch Blake 7.
Are you gonna like beef with Super Eye Patch Wolf?
No, because he's a much bigger YouTuber than me, so he'll beat me up.
No, but he seems like a really nice guy though, and
He
he'd
does seem like
probably
a nice
just
guy.
be like, oh, I'm sorry that you want to beat me up. That's not very nice of you. And then you just feel really bad, and you just arrest yourself and throw yourself in jail. Just like last time.
Just like last time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm probably going to do a video about it, but I want to watch the full run of it before doing that, because I don't really want to just talk about a single episode. I kind of want to talk about the series as a whole.
Yeah.
Because having watched the whole of it, so the special effects are absolute hot dog shit garbage, because it started in 1978 on the BBC.
God, yeah.
So think how Doctor Who looked at that time, when it didn't have the benefit of still being in black and white, where it covered up how bad the effects were. Give it probably less of a budget.
Significantly less of a budget.
Doctor Who had some really low budgets at times.
Yeah.
Many people at the BBC wanted it dead for like a decade before it actually stopped.
That was a good plan, because it's not like,
it came back on as the biggest
everyone
thing.
loves it now except for me, because I just don't get it.
But
I do share the mutual hatred of Stephen Moffat, so...
but yeah, Blake 7 is a good show. It's written by Terry Nation, who wrote all the old Dalek stories.
Every time I hear Terry Nation, I think it's a song or like a fandom.
What, Terry Nation Army?
Yeah. Just done with like the Thunderboys.
Terry Nation Army wrote the Blake 7.
Okay, it needs work, but yeah, that's kind of what I was going for.
But yeah, so a couple of things I'll just mention here before, so I don't have to just basically recount the upcoming script to my highly anticipated episode of I'm not ripping off Super Eye Patch Wolf because it's not an anime.
Just start speaking in that Irish accent of yours, and suddenly...
I won't. I feel like it's like I don't like doing the Irish accent thing, because I did a few videos like back in the day, and I kind of feel like is that offensive? Is that like?
I think because you're English, it is. Yeah,
Probably.
because those poor people.
Yeah.
I mean, they shouldn't have to listen to bullshit, terrible fake accents.
They shouldn't have to deal with more bullshit from the English.
No, they really shouldn't.
But yeah, it's it's a bunch of ne'er-do-wells on a spaceship they found. That's like the most advanced ship in the fucking universe.
Just hanging out.
Yeah, it's abandoned. They find it.
That is so not a good sign. I'm
No.
on board already. I know I shouldn't be, but I'm an idiot. I'm here.
And
There's like woohoo free ship.
one of them is he's like an ex-leader of a rebellion against the evil Terran Federation. Because the Federation in this is a bad, totalitarianist, awful thing.
Keep all this SJW propaganda out of my sci-fi.
But yeah, so he sort of then Rog Blake, who's the main kind of guy, leads the group of mostly just criminals.
Is there 7 people?
No.
Oh.
This is possibly the best thing about Blake 7. So it has genuinely good points. Like, there's some really cool stories, some interesting things. The character interactions are fucking brilliant. There's
They
some
are phenomenal.
fantastic like little bits of writing here and there, especially like the banter between the characters, because a lot of them don't particularly get on. It's fantastic.
Who are the 2 that I'm convinced are like canonically supposed to be fucking?
Blake and Avon, probably.
Yeah, those guys are boning down.
I kind of
They
get
are
that.
constantly bantering and the most like thinly veiled sexual like the most
It's
the
like-
most sexually charged game of verbal tennis I have
like
ever been privy to.
Avon goes to Blake and is like, after this I'm leaving. This is too stupid even for us, or this is too stupid even for me. And Blake just goes, oh no, come on, Avon, believe in yourself. But yeah, my favourite line comes from a character called Villa, where he goes up to a plant that's like a carnivorous plant, and I think it's Blake says, oh, don't go near that. Some of the carnivorous plants around here are known to be, even have an intelligence rating. And they're that kind of advanced. And Villa just goes, oh, well, that's good. I wouldn't want to be eaten by something stupid.
It's delivered in like these old school kind
Very
of
dry.
dry kind of yeah.
If you like dry delivery of like misanthropic dialogue, then the character Avon is like fucking perfect.
If you like Wib when he's like being deadpan, you'll love Avon.
But yeah, so going back to the only being 7 people. So the Blake 7, basically there's been different amounts of people in the crew at different times. Sometimes they even count the onboard computer and it always includes Blake. Well, nearly always includes Blake. Sometimes doesn't. Quite often it isn't 7 of them.
Okay.
It's fucking weird. I think they came up with the name Blake 7 and then just did massive like leaps of logic to make 7 fit into it. There are times when 2 of the 7 are computers.
What a great sentence you just came out with. That's a brand new fucking no one has ever said that before.
The theme tune's also pretty cool. I like it. But yeah, they are all on YouTube if you wanted to check it out. You can get DVDs of them, of course, as well. I think you can, actually.
Probably.
I just realised I said that with certainty and then I lost all certainty about it. So maybe you can't. Who knows? Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about. So now I'm going to go and pass on to the Drummond Matthew. Please tell me what you've been doing, the Drummond Matthew.
Yeah. How many eggs have you eaten today?
Today?
Yeah.
None.
How many eggs did you eat yesterday?
I had like half of one yesterday.
How do you have half an egg?
Well, because
Take a big
we all
bite out
had
the
one
top
egg
one.
between 2 people.
You shared an egg.
No, we were making a pad thai, and you just put an egg in with when you do the stir fry, but only one egg.
Okay.
I personally like the idea that they like chop an egg in half and then share it.
You have to be very quick. You
really
smack
quick.
it and then quickly just snatch up and then you go like that.
Yeah, just suck it right up.
Just suck it right in your mouth.
No, you crack it into your own mouth, and then your partner takes half of it from your mouth into their mouth.
Well, then you spit it into their mouth.
No, they suck it from your mouth.
That is so over the line for me.
Well, that's over the line for you. You married
we
me,
found the
asshole.
limit.
You're spitting eggs into people.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah, right. I nearly did a little sick in my mouth while I was saying it. I was like, no. I'm sorry, everyone.
Is this one of those things where we're like, we can't use that as a title? We can't use spitting raw eggs into each other's mouth as a title for the episode because no one will click on that.
No, maybe. So there'll be some people that do, and they'll be the wrong kind of
They'll
people.
be so disappointed. They'll go, why do I have to listen to this bullshit to get to the hot egg swapping? That's what it's officially called, is egg swapping.
Egg swapping? Okay. And the thing is, like, Drama Matt would have to, like, kneel down because Ruth's quite short and Drama Matt's quite tall. So would she kind of, like, I mean, do you guys, like...
Can we not talk about the logistics
no,
of
let's
this?
moving on. So, what I've been up to.
Okay.
So, I had a bit of feedback from last time when I said I didn't like Umbrella Academy.
And
A couple of people
were
have said,
telling
you
that
should
were
though,
wrong.
it's good. So I was like, okay, I'll watch another episode and give it, the first episode of something isn't, often isn't the best. They're trying to set up everything and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, still don't like it.
Okay.
How can you not like something other people have
I
shown
know.
that they like?
I'm really glad if you like it. I'm really glad for you, and I'm very pleased. But to me, I still find it just badly written. I don't know. It seems very clunky, and I think actually, we nailed down to why I went into it thinking this is going to be bad, and then if you think something is going to be bad, it definitely colours your experience of it, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So in the very first scene of the first episode, she gets a violin out of a saxophone case, and then proceeds to not play it.
And then
dramatically.
proceeds to play it like it's a clarinet, like...
Basically, yeah. And okay, fine. It's quite a big thing for me. It really annoys me in films and things when you have musicians, even like in the background, blatantly not playing, because it's very easy.
Is so
if
obvious.
you're just in the background, it's very easy to get extras who can play their instruments, or at least know how an instrument works. And if they're not in the background, they're a main character, it's very easy to spend a tiny amount of your budget to tell them vaguely how to hold the instrument or something.
The thing is, like, I mean, this is the thing, is like, if you can play an instrument, you know when someone can't.
I know it might be unreasonable, but to me it just seems really lazy. And this is by far the worst example of that I've ever seen.
Oh God.
Like there's bits where you hear like I feel justified complaining about it because it's kind of the focus of the first 3 or 4 minutes of the first episode is basically just a camera on one character playing an instrument by themselves. It's not like just in the background or a side point. It's the main focus of the first few minutes of the show.
That sounds like the beginning of The Punisher season 1. They have him kind of sitting around being sad. And, like, he's supposed to be able to play guitar, and it's so obvious that John Bernthal has probably never held a guitar before. And it's like, it's trying to go for this kind of, like, or this sad kind of, like, oh, he's playing a sad song on his guitar because he's got pain and he's sad, you know? And, like... It just snaps you out of it because you're like, okay, I'm supposed to be sad, but this guy is obviously has no idea what he's doing.
Yeah, and I maybe it's unreasonable, but it just seems so. And like this bit, it's just like it's so like she's playing like a fancy twiddly bit, and it does a zoom in on her hand, and she's just gripping the neck of the violin like how you'd hold like a drumstick or something. There's like no fingers moving. I'm like, it's like, why focus the cat? Like, fine, if you don't want to pay for someone to tell Ellen Page how to play a violin, fine, but don't focus the camera on all of the bad bits.
You know
it's
what
so
you could
weird.
do instead, even, is just have her like move her head around pretending she's playing violin, and then zoom in on the fingers of somebody else who can play violin.
There's many ways you can get around it, and maybe it's unfair to the show, but. It just annoyed me so much. It put me. I think that's why I disliked it so much. Yeah. And to the point where I was watching the whole first episode, waiting for there to be a plot reason as to why that was happening. Like maybe her superpower is that she emanates music without having to play the instrument, or something ridiculous. But I was like, genuinely watching the rest of the show, waiting for something like that, because like this is like they've gone to the effort to make this bad. This isn't just casually bad.
I think this is like the most musician problem watching media.
Yeah, probably.
I will say,
I get the exact same thing. Don't worry. Like,
and I've said, I've said, it's probably unfair. And if you enjoy it, I don't want to take anything away from that, and I'm really glad. And then at the end, she stops playing, and then she puts her violin back into a saxophone case and wanders off somewhere. I'm just like, why get that wrong? You have to go out and buy a violin, and then go out and buy a saxophone and swap them around. Like, why
Maybe
did
you
You know what this sounds like? They probably had like the acquisitions like stage. Like the person who goes and buys props went into like a secondhand store and just didn't know the difference. Like someone had just put a violin in a saxophone case.
I'm wondering if
they just didn't know.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if they managed to find just a violin case that just happened to look like a sax case. And that's just the one they used.
You see, I was expecting John Matt to go. So she gets a violin out of a saxophone case and pulls out a plectrum and just starts fucking finger tapping on the fucking
Starts
door.
playing Van Halen.
Starts playing Van Halen.
Admittedly, actually, that'd be fucking rad
Starts
as an
playing
opening.
Sweet Child of Mine.
So no, I'm sorry. Like I said, if you enjoy it, great. But I couldn't get past it to the point where she does this violin thing halfway through the second episode, and we turned to each other and was like, do we have to watch the second half of the episode, or can we just stop now? And we forced our way to the end of the second episode, but I really can't do anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry
I'd say
everyone, I tried.
That isn't a deal breaker for me. That's just something that I witnessed. Media.
That isn't the deal breaker, but I think that didn't help by putting me in a weird mood before it.
Yeah.
That isn't the only reason.
No, I get you, but it's weird. Like things like that. It's like, as an ex-smoker, I can always tell when someone isn't smoking. And, like, I would never say that somebody should smoke if they're a non-smoker for just, like, an acting role or whatever. Just, no. That's fine. I don't care about that. But it's just fun to know who's smoking properly.
That's the thing when you watch movies or in TV and stuff, when they do something about something that you have knowledge in, whether it be like a habit like smoking or
playing guitar,
a hobby like playing guitar or whatever, you notice these things. The one that always drives me slightly nuts is movies and TV shows where gigs consist of only one song,
and it's perfectly like the sound is CD quality perfect. And now okay, before that person in the comments is writing out angry of like, well, you see, it's narrative convenience and it's like it's portraying it. Yeah, we know that. We're just having a bit of fun.
Yeah, it doesn't actually.
we don't actually want to like have half an hour devoted to just a fake band playing a fake set. We're just having fun with the idea. That's just how it is portrayed.
Although there should be more people in movies doing tedious, played out Freebird jokes of the band.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
We say as the people that did that at gigs.
Yeah, we always did that, and occasionally would get death glares from like other band members' girlfriends who don't know that you're in the band.
The only show I ever saw that I felt really presented gigs accurately was it called Skins? That old
Skins?
Channel 4 thing where it was
Where
like
it was
teenage
like a bunch
drama
of
thing.
teenagers being fucking idiot.
Oh yeah,
dumb fucks.
I hated the show, but
It was horrible.
But whenever they were at a gig, 'cause I saw a handful of episodes, it was fucking loud. They could barely hear each
And
other.
nobody really liked it.
It sounded distorted.
Yeah.
Like, it sounded like a real gig. And that to me, that added like so much realism
Yeah.
to gigs, because at gigs in movies, most of the time, the people can just talk to one another, like, totally fine.
It's like, yeah, band are going for it's like, hey, how's college been? It's like, yeah, college is hard. And that's like that because they all talk like that in like teen dramas.
Oh yeah, but yeah, and the fact
And
that
also everyone is like every venue was always fully packed for. Like,
I was about to say the
fucking
most
nobody.
unrealistic thing is that people turn up to these
Oh, yeah.
gigs, right?
Yeah, and people fucking cheer and dance. Like that's the entire crowd cheer and dance.
The other big thing that is inaccurate is that at no point do you ever see someone stick to the floor.
Or like, you
Or
don't
walk
see,
along
like,
and go, oh, I didn't realise carpet could be sticky. Oh, this is
yeah.
bad.
So for any listeners who've never been to a proper gig, and I'm not gatekeeping, I'm just like kind of like a more kind of like low, like smaller gig. If the floor ain't sticky, it's not a gig venue.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, like we've played to like a couple of families in a fucking pub. And the floor wasn't sticky, and there's a reason for that.
We have played to the bar staff.
We have played to the bar stuff because there was this guy who was like, because promoters for the most part don't do their jobs anymore. They literally just post on Facebook and expect and think that's promoting. That is not promoting. So there was one guy who did that. There wasn't even like on the chalkboard outside of the venue. They hadn't even bothered to write the fact that there was bands on that evening. And we played to the bar staff, and that one guy who left halfway through our set. Hate that guy. I really hate him, wherever he is now. I hope he's covered in, like, peanut shells.
I'm sure he's probably learned his lesson.
He's probably dead.
I think this may be a little harsh.
No, I don't
for
want
a
him
minor
to be.
inconvenience.
I don't want him to be dead. I just think.
Yeah, because to be
he
fair,
is.
all of our other gigs were empty as well. That just happened to be the one
Yeah,
that he was at.
But that was because we were shite, as opposed to...
Yeah. There's a difference, Matt. But yeah, no. That's
when people
fine.
didn't know we were bad,
Going
then it
back
makes
to
sense.
like watching movies and realizing that they can't play guitars and stuff. My favorite and the most polarizing kind of example of this is at the end of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. No, it's Bogus Journey, the second one,
Right.
where they basically use the telephone booths to go to the Middle Ages and have like a 6-month, like a 12-month like practice regime kind of thing, so they can actually learn to play their instruments. And then they come back and they've got beards and kids, and it's really cute. Now, Ted, played by Keanu Reeves, who is a guitarist / bassist, he starts playing and you go, you are so comfortable with that guitar. You know how to play a guitar. Bill is just fucking thrashing around going, I've just got this big long piece of wood. Ooh, it's just so obvious. He has no idea what he's doing. And it's so funny because like you got Keanu Reeves like properly like strumming away, like chugging. And then you've got this guy just going, I've got a ZZ Top beard and I'm going to use that to mask my hand not strumming.
You can usually tell how comfortable someone is with a guitar within like a second of them being past it in a movie.
Yeah.
Because you just see from how they hold the neck.
I remember
It's a really
seeing-
subtle thing, but you see just the way they balance the weight
Yeah.
of the guitar against them, and it's it's usually super obvious, like instantly.
I can't remember where I saw it, but someone like Adrian Edmondson was given a guitar, and it's just like, damn, you can play guitar. It's just so obvious that he can play guitar. And then like, I did see him like I think it was like a year later, and he has like an SG or something.
If I remember rightly, there's one of the bottom live things. He plays guitar in one of those intentionally really badly.
That's the one,
which must have been very difficult for him if you can actually play. Because like playing an instrument intentionally badly is weirdly difficult.
It's really difficult.
Because all of
I
you...
had to get tips from Mr. Wolf for that.
No one else is laughing at that joke. It's just us three.
Yeah.
That was a joke. We should probably move on. To the rest
Yeah.
of the thing.
All
We're
right.
just talking as friends now. We're not fucking
Yeah.
podcasting. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, sorry. Moving on. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse has come out on the Dirt and
Such
Home
a
Medias,
good movie.
so obviously I've watched
Oh,
that
has
again.
it come out now? Because
It
I am
is.
going
It
to
came
go
out
get that because I love it.
the week ago or so. At the end of February, I think. Maybe.
Shit,
I
no,
can't
I
remember.
need to-
Anyway, it's definitely out by now.
Yeah, I need to get it on Blu-ray because that is a fucking great movie.
It is great. I showed it to Ruth and she loved it.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. And then we watched it. I think we watched it like 4 or 5 days ago. I can't remember. And then for basically every night since, he's like, "So, are you watching Spider-Man again?" I was like, "Oh, okay, awesome."
Yeah.
It is
Yeah,
just so good.
it is that good. And she's not massively into the whole comic book thing, really.
Yeah.
But
Well, she's like a functional human being,
It's
so.
great. We've discussed it before, so I don't need to mention anymore. But
Yeah.
it holds up well on a second viewing,
Yeah.
I do really want to see
and
it
then
again.
presumably the third viewing, which we're doing soon.
Well, it's not got all the baggage that all the, if you want to like watch the Marvel movies, you do kind of have to sit there and go, if I want to watch this movie, I need to go and do homework.
Yeah.
How many other movies do I need to watch for this to make sense?
This is very true.
It's good, though.
And yeah, Spider-Verse does not have that problem. So
I almost went to see Captain Marvel this morning, but instead I went Pokemon chasing because there was a Pokemon I hadn't caught, so I went to do that instead.
Oh, by the way, went to Warhammer World, and there's like 3 gyms in the middle of Warhammer World. So I sent you a bunch of Pokemon gifts from Warhammer World. So I hope you get
Nice.
some cool stuff from that.
My game for the fortnight is I started playing Undertale again, which is
Ooh.
people may have heard of it.
it's underground
It's
game.
new. It's a recent one as well. So
It's on the up and up.
okay, we should probably not make
that's,
that same joke every time I introduce one of the games I've played.
The guy made it Tobias Wolf.
Yeah, that's him. And there's that famous quote from it. "Hi, I'm Tammy."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
good.
it's-
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, I am Tammy.
Yeah.
Oh, classic. Anyway, Dromat, what are you finding?
I did play it before for like an hour, I think.
I remember you
Quite a while
saying,
ago,
yeah.
and I can't remember if I mentioned on the podcast, but I was playing through with Ruth because I was like, "Oh, it's a story-based game." She might have played. Of course, she didn't have patience.
She
for it.
does not care, yeah.
But then I didn't want to carry on just in case we were going to play it, and then it'd been too long. So it finally got to the point where I can actually start again from the start. Which to do with you need to delete your game file because we named our character something I can't even remember what, and I was like, "Well, start again." It doesn't let you rename it. I was like, "What?" So I had to go find where the save was, and that's that. So I presumably at some point there's some sort of replayable value on the game.
Yes, there is.
I haven't got quite that far yet.
Let's just say that certain things change if you play through a second time.
Okay. So I'm playing. I've just got to. I don't know how far in percentage-wise or time-wise. In fact, I've just beat a spider.
Muffet, I think her name is.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
That's quite a way through, I seem to remember.
I think it seems to be like I'm towards the end, but I don't actually know.
I like
But it's quite.
spider bakes.
I mean, it's people know it's quite a good game.
What do you think about the music of the game?
The music during whatever bit I've just watched recently was basically Final Fantasy music, which was fun. It was like the sort of chords they were doing. I was just like, "Ooh, Final Fantasy!" I was like, "Wait,
Yeah.
what?"
The music, shock horror in Undertale, I'm going to say something really, really shocking that no one's ever said before. It's actually pretty decent.
I fucking love the
It's
soundtrack.
fantastic, yeah.
Bone Tussle, the fight against Papyrus, is
Very good.
Just that's a banger,
Yeah,
It's
it
a,
slaps.
it's a bop or whatever it is that the kids say.
It slaps the box.
It slaps the bops.
Fucking
But yeah, so how are you finding it? Aside from just generally, like it being a decent game.
Yeah, it took a little while for me to get it. I'll be honest, it took me for the first hour or so of playing. I was just a bit like, I don't really know what I'm doing, or I don't really know what the point of anything is. And it took me a little while to get into it, and to get into the sort of the speed of it, I think,
Yeah,
or the
yeah,
sort
I
of
get
rhythm
that.
of it, which was quite surprising. So I was just like, people say this is good. And then he was like, okay, I can get into it now. Okay, cool. A couple of the fights have been quite. I'm doing a because he said at the start to not kill people, so I'm just following instructions.
So you're doing a pacifist run.
Yeah,
Nice.
You
I
do
just-
get
I just feel
different.
Like I'm just
yeah.
trying to be like a nice person and do the nice option or whatever
Yeah.
possible. Because all the fights, I mean, people know all the fights you can talk your way out of, basically. Apart from
Yeah.
a couple, which is really annoying. There's one where you're being chased by Undyne. This is possibly all spoilers, but I assume everyone's played it at this point.
I love Undyne so much.
But like, you can't I spent ages trying to beat her, and it turns out the way you win that fight is by running away.
Yeah.
But there's no clue to that. Like, they usually give you a clue as to how you can talk your way out of it or whatever. And the clue that she gets is, you can't run away when you're green. The only way you can beat me is by face on or something. So I was like, oh, so we're going to have to basically keep challenging her or something, because that's one of the options to talking to her. So I kept trying to do that for ages and kept dying and ended up having to look it up, and I was like, oh yeah, you have to run away from this one. I was like, but why though? This is the first time that's ever had to happen. So that was a bit annoying. I think that's the only time though. I think the rest of the time it's been relatively straightforward. Although I'm always aware that there's like, if there's 2 paths, I'm like, oh, I don't want to miss a bit, because I know there's like, the ending depends on bits you do, where there's a few little bits I've got a vague sense of awareness of that. So I'm just like, oh, I need to do everything, so I went one way. And there's one path which is now nagging my brain, because at some point I could have gone left or right or something. I didn't go one way.
It's probably just a single item.
Yeah, I know, but it's still just sitting there on the back of my brain being like, you didn't do that one room or that one whatever it is, and now you can't go back.
There is that whole, I can't remember the name of it, but it's like this psychological kind of thing where if you and ah about 2 different options for a long time, you basically can't really get any joy when you eventually make a decision. So you've got to just railroad it and just pick one.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way you'll be satisfied in your decision, because otherwise you'll just be like, oh god, I should have done that.
Because see, I kind of did that when I played through it the first time. I just kind of went for it. So I didn't do like a pacifist or genocide run. I just went through and did like a kind of middle of the road one, so I could experiment with all the different things in the game. And it's on my long list of things to do is to actually go and do a pacifist run. I
think there's lots of although you don't just have to not fight anyone.
Yeah, there's other things.
There's various other things which I'm assuming I'm not doing all of them on because I'm not looking up a guide. So I've probably missed one of them somewhere.
Yeah, but honestly, I feel like with a game like Undertale, having at least your first playthrough being sort of how you naturally have done it, I think there's something to be said about that. Like anything with like multiple endings that require specific things to be done, playing through the first time with a guide is...
I think it does ruin it. I think you should just kind of...
Yeah.
As much as, everyone wants to get the good ending or...
Yeah, that's the thing. You've got
to
persuade yourself that, like, wait, no, just do it naturally first.
Yeah,
and then don't spend your whole time worrying.
Yeah, and then you kind of get the voice in the back of your head that goes, oh, yeah, but then, like, the first time you've ever played through this, if you don't get the good ending, then it'll always be soured. It's like, that's not true. Like, my favourite playthrough of the entirety of Mass Effect was, like, my second and third playthroughs. My first playthrough, I can barely remember. I remember I played through as another Fem Shep and as Frank Shep. And I loved those so much more because I was like, yeah, I know what happens if I can do this. So I felt a lot more comfortable. And then I got the goodest endings that I perceived as good. No arguments, please. And I'm happy with that. And it's like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's the whole kind of, I don't know what the word would be. My brain wants to call it, it's like a nostalgia voice. But it's a voice going, oh, it has to be perfect first time because this is an important milestone. It's like, it's not. Fuck off, and that voice literally ruins everything. That's it.
I mean, so some games that I've played like the most are ones that like relish in replayability. What was it? Way of the Samurai 4. Like that game, I beat that like 20 or 30 times because you could beat like the entire run of it in like a couple of hours.
Yeah. But the thing is, that game was that's built for replayability and just weirdness.
I should play that again.
Yeah. To be fair, like if you like that, you probably should start playing Yakuza 0.
Yes, I do need to play that actually.
Because
that's a good point. That is a very good point.
So.
But yes, Undertale.
Yeah, it's a good game. In surprising news to no one. Very last thing I want to say is I don't think I've given any podcast recommendations on this podcast before, apart from obviously the podcast you're currently listening to.
I don't know if I recommend it. Honestly.
This is the best podcast,
but a very good podcast. It's only up to about 8 episodes so far, but it has a bad name, but it's called Strong Songs.
Okay.
And basically it's this dude who I think he used to write for Kotaku at some point actually and do a podcast for them or something. I don't know. But he goes through and picks a song that's a strong song. And then it's about between half an hour, 40 minutes. The latest couple of episodes have been 50 minutes. But basically he's talking, why is it a good song in terms of like, and he goes into a bit of musical depth. He talks about structures and like chord sequences and things, but it's not you don't need to know anything about music he just sort of says why this like makes you feel good or makes you feel in a certain way.
Oh, is it kind of like, oh, well, this doesn't use minor notes.
Yeah,
because minor notes make you feel sad or whatever.
Yeah, and he doesn't really say like go into detail why. But I mean, with minor, actually, he's like mostly social reasons. Like we've just been told that it's sad.
Yeah.
But so he does mention a few, and he goes, talks between different chord structures and different instrumentation and different recording techniques, and he's so. You can tell whenever he's recording, his face is like a massive grin. He just sounds so enthusiastic, and it means you get to listen to some good songs as well. Because I think the first few episodes he did Toto by Africa, Call Me Al.
That is, to be fair, one of the best fucking songs ever. So.
Thriller by Michael Jackson, Single Ladies by Beyonce, Dancing Queen by ABBA. A couple of others that I can't remember. The most recent one he's done is Let It Go from the Frozen film.
I honestly hate that fucking song, but that's probably for other reasons.
It's a massive recommendation from me. I absolutely... it's new, so I've only been listening through... I only found out about it a couple of weeks ago, so I've been listening through and catching up, and then I just got to the point last week where I was just like, I've run out of them, and the next episode's not out until next week. Come on. And then it came out yesterday, and I was just like, yes, new song. Honestly, it's hard to explain. He's like, he goes into a bit of musical depth, but not in a way that to make anyone feel small or the way that you need to know anything. He explains, and sometimes he says, this is just this, you don't need to know why for this, for the purpose of what we're talking about. And sometimes when it is important, he'll explain it a bit. But, so I've shown it to people who don't know music stuff, and I do know some of the music theory and things, and I don't think it's better or worse wherever you come at it from. He does a really good job of balancing it out.
You can talk about fairly in-depth niche topics, provided you go into it, giving the primer that people need, because nearly everything that is incredibly complicated to do with like the construction of art is relatively easy for a layman to understand once you strip away the words that are used to describe it normally.
Yeah, totally. And he is very good at doing that. So yeah, in short, very good podcast, highly recommended. Go check it out.
Good.
That's me done. Snipe.
Yes, friend.
What have you been up to?
Oh, so much.
So much.
You'd be shocked at how much I've been up to. Honestly. I mean, there's so much I probably can't even fit it all in. Quite frankly.
We're going to have to extend the podcast.
Yeah, we are.
Going to have to go to like a full... 3-4 hour.
4
epic.
hours? That's if I keep it down to bullet points, honestly. It's... But yeah. I am not filibustering for time, I swear. But no, I've played a couple of games. I will briefly mention... I'm going to start off on the back, on the negative, because I did not like this game. I played Deep Rock Galactic with my brother for about an hour, and it was so fucking boring. So Deep Rock Galactic is advertised as kind of like a Left 4 Dead kind of meets Minecraft kind of thing, where there's it's a multiplayer game, you can play with a bunch of people. You go and pick missions where you go and you mine resources and shoot aliens, and there's different classes.
Mine shoot.
Mine shoot, yes. And honestly, it was fucking awful. Because it's when you play with a friend or something, it's almost always, even the worst games can be at least entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was wonderful that because I barely ever get to play with my brother. But yeah, this just didn't do it for me. I mean, it is an early access, so take whatever I say as a pinch of salt. And who knows, maybe you'll like it. I mean, I played it on the free weekend, but yeah, I think it looks ugly. It controls fine. It's just...
But you play as squats.
Why do you think I wanted to like the game?
You're literally playing as space dwarves.
You are, yeah.
Why did they make that bad? How did they make that bad?
Well, the thing is, it's not bad. It's just boring. That's all.
That's upsetting.
Yeah, I was just like, it's fine.
From the description you gave, I've just looked it up. I was like, from the description you gave me, I was assuming it was like a Minecraft style. All the Minecraft imitators that were... Everyone was just blocks.
Yeah.
But no, the fact they're just fucking squats.
Yeah, but like if you look closely, you notice that all
Oh, they are like
faces and...
relatively low poly. But...
Yeah, they are relatively low poly, but like it's just I don't know. It feels early access, which is not a good thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just not... It just really did not grab me. And it was just a lot of meandering about, and occasionally an enemy would come in and you'd be like, yeah, okay. Yeah, and then I literally just quit and tried to install Left 4 Dead 2, but then Steam was like, oh yeah, this is a 7.5 gig download, and I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure it's bigger than that, but sure. And it downloaded that 3 times and tried to start up a 4th download for it, so I just went, fuck it. And then he wanted to play Overwatch, so then we played Overwatch. But yeah, honestly, I hope they make it a bit more interesting, because...
Problem with early access, really,
that's
isn't
the problem
it?
with early access. It's just ugh.
You don't get to see it in its pristine form, so
No, so it's just kind of like that's. I mean, who knows? Like maybe when it comes out, if it comes out, because not every early access game comes out proper. Maybe it'll fix a lot of the problems, or maybe it's just a game I just didn't get on with.
just not for you.
Who knows? Just didn't enjoy it at all. Went to Warhammer World.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you went to the date night without me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You were with us in spirit.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. I took my Walker army, and Wib took his orcs.
My orcs.
Orcs.
And
Still don't know how to
how
deal
well
with
did
that
that go for you, Orkies?
I'll let Wib explain.
Very badly. I do not know how to deal with Snipe's Walker Army at all. I think the problem is
Tank
the
busters, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what Erndil suggested.
Yeah, well, I mean, I the first time I fought them with my Blood Angels, and I knew going into it that my Blood Angels, because they're very much a work in progress, they're not good at dealing with heavy armor. Like that's the thing that
You need 100 las cannons.
yeah. So I knew that it was going to be a real hassle to take them down. But I had a knight, so...
Yeah, you brought a knight as well before anyone starts going, well, that doesn't sound fair.
Well, I mean, if you...
Points matching, it's fine.
Yeah, if you knights are balanced to fight against everything else. It's just, you need to bring things to take on certain kinds of enemies.
Yeah.
And... Yeah, fighting with my Blood Angels went predictably because, I don't really have the capacity to do it. However, I didn't know how my orcs would fare, so rather than build a list that was specifically designed to take down dreadnoughts and a knight, I basically built a list that was more of a general purpose list to see how that would work. Turns out incredibly badly.
I mean, yeah, you managed to get one model. You killed my Redemptor because that was the first time using my Redemptor Dreadnought. So, first model syndrome, you had to kill it. But that was the only model I lost.
Yeah.
But points-wise... No, that doesn't even match what that points-wise, yeah.
No, you eviscerated my force. I just don't know how to deal with that.
You had your looters...
I think the problem is that
that were just not doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't very lucky. Basically, everything that was like a random chance thing, like my looters and my shock attack gun. I think my shock attack gun did 2 wounds in the entire game.
You know what did more wounds to my knight? A squig and a pack of grots.
That's actually true, yeah.
Yeah. A squig bit my knight and inflicted a wound. Grots shot at my knight and inflicted 2 wounds. Just have a squig and grot army. That's obviously the hard counter to a knight.
I mean, eventually, in terms of the dice you're rolling, you'll at least bore your opponent to death.
Unity and I played a game on stream where I took a knight and he took the point equivalent in Ripper Swarms. And I was like, this is not good. We were kind of joking and be like, this is so dumb, but it probably won't last very long. It took nearly 2 hours just because of how many dice he had to roll. And he got to the point where he was just duplicating dice to roll because he needed so many that he couldn't actually, it wouldn't allow you to create any more dice because that was the maximum amount of dice you were allowed to
Because this was in
spawn.
Tabletop Simulator. This isn't like a hard cap on dice creation in the real world.
No. There's no such thing, or is there?
We'll find out one day, I suppose.
One day, yeah. Games Workshop, please interact. But yeah, so he had to roll, and it was just sitting there, and then we were both okay, pull out all of the less than 5s. Okay, that's a 5 and a 6, and it was just. It was literally just pick out 5s and 6s, the game.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It was a fun game, though, but it was so dumb.
Yeah. I will say one thing, because, you know, we went there and we played our game, had a little bit to eat, and went. One thing I just want to mention that I'm always fascinated by at Warhammer World is the amount of people who play the Horus Heresy game there.
Yeah, because that's basically the Big Daddy Games Workshop for, like, older people with more disposable income, I guess.
I mean, I guess get the demo.
And that's not me, like, throwing shade on anyone. I'm just saying that, you know, older people tend to have a bit more money.
Oh, yeah.
And, if there's a 10-year-old playing, they won't have, like, a fucking...
They won't have the money for the Forge World vehicles that you need to play the Horus Heresy game.
They won't be able to have, like, a 3,000 Point Lunar Wolves army.
Yeah.
They just won't be able to do that.
But yeah, I'm just always surprised how many people are there playing it. Like, when we were there was probably, like, 5 or 6 groups, like, playing it. And there's always at least a couple of people playing it there. And I'm just always surprised because it seems such a niche thing. But
it is cool to see.
Yeah, it is cool to see because you get to see all these pre-heresy armies and things.
Yeah,
but
in person.
Yeah, in person. Because it was like people behind us playing. It was Raven Guard versus World Eaters. And yeah, like...
That guy had painted up his army pretty rad.
Yeah, that's the thing. I always look, when you see a Horus Heresy
job.
army, you always look at it and you go, I know how much that squadron of tanks you've got there costs.
Yeah.
Like, you go, well, that's a thing that you've spent like 80 quid on, okay. But yeah, it just always fascinates me to see.
Yeah. You know what really fascinates me about Warhammer World is, like, we were in Bugman's having something to eat before we left, and this guy comes in and he's just bought this huge character box, like this huge model in this big box. He just pops it on a table and leaves it there and walks off, and that model is like 80 quid. And it's just like, you see that quite a lot of people just leaving their armies unattended and just wandering off and being very comfortable with this. I personally couldn't do that.
I am not comfortable with that, no.
But you see a lot of people doing it, and I've never heard of anyone having problems doing that, but it's just like, I'm glad that you feel safe here. Although I am too shifty and untrusting to do that. So.
Yeah, I am too cynical about the world to do that. However, one quick thing about Warhammer World that I'm very happy about is, do you remember a while back there used to be a marine that was outside of it that looked like a second edition monopose marine that was like the statue outside,
the chunky boy,
because they used to have 2 of those outside, one of which was on the corner and one of which was dead outside the actual head office itself. And then they took down both of them and put one of them inside and replaced the one outside the head office with a Stormcast.
Yeah, there's like a golden Stormcast outside now.
Which is fair enough. However, the second monopose marine is back outside next to the Rhino outside.
Yeah, he's like just to the right of the Rhino, which is pretty cool.
I'm glad to see both of them, out and about.
He's
again,
got a plaque now.
Yeah, he's got a nice plaque.
He's got a nice plaque there, kind of explaining a bit about the Space Marines and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So I just thought that was pretty fun that he's back outside. So that was cool.
We also had a very nice gentleman come up to us and say that he liked our content as well.
Yeah, that was nice.
Which I feel...
Shout out to that guy.
Yeah. Sorry, we don't know your name, but yeah, he came up and had a look and at us having a big fight on the tabletop, not verbally. That would be weird. But yeah, like, I felt bad because like when I was going to get coffee and stuff, I walked past him and his table, and he had like a bunch of really gorgeous knights there. And every time I walked past, I was just like staring at his knights, like ooh. Because obviously I love my walkers.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I wish I'd have said like when he came up, like hey, yeah, I really like your knights, they're really cool. But I was like anxious and bad at stuff. So
well, that's the thing, isn't it? If you meet a YouTuber in real life, please be aware they're probably an anxious wreck. That's why they make YouTube videos.
Yeah, like if they're kind of like, if they're very short or like don't like short sentences and don't speak a massive amount to you, it'll be because they're nervous and they don't want to say something bad and they want to be friendly, but they're scared because they're bad at stuff.
I'm terrified the day that someone comes up to me, because I mean we've been recognised a handful of times in the real world.
Yeah.
And I'm terrified of the one day someone does it and they catch me on a day where I just feel like shit, and I won't mean to, but I'll come across as like short. Because I don't want to like people to think like, it's one of those things where like it's gonna happen because Like, you can't be a perfect person all the time.
Yeah.
But it's just really upsetting to know that, like, because I think we've all had it where we've met someone who we've only met one time, and we've met them in a bad mood, so we've got a really bad impression of them.
Yeah.
Like,
And like, usually it's nothing to do with you at all,
Yeah.
but it still makes you feel bad.
Yeah, and I don't want to do that to someone else where they walk away feeling like that I was a shithead to them specifically.
Yeah.
Rather than me just being in a weird mood that day. And
Yeah.
not being expecting someone to say, oh, hello.
It's tricky,
Yeah.
yeah.
So basically what I'm doing there is putting out a ground in front of me, so...
So next time someone goes, hi there, I like your videos, so you can punch them in the face and go, haha, no hard feelings.
No hard feelings, I said I was a wreck, haha.
And then you set something on fire that
And then
they care about, I guess.
I set them on fire.
Yeah, this is what I'm definitely the front-facing socialite of Snipe and I'm the social butterfly girl person thing.
Which is weird, because I'm the one that handles all the social media.
Yeah, because I hate social media. It's dumb. And I end up punching people virtually and setting their virtual things on fire.
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay. But it was really nice.
Yes, it was nice to meet that person, whoever you are. You didn't say
Yeah.
if you're like a person with an alias that we're familiar with.
Yeah.
So
it was nice meeting your friend.
But it was nice meeting you. So yes.
Yeah. But yeah, Warhammer World was a lot of fun. And I ate some curly fries.
You did, but
that
that
had
is
obviously been
nice.
reheated at least twice, because Bogman's is like slightly too expensive pub food.
It's not pub food. It's not that good.
Yeah, Bogman's food ain't that great. But yeah,
But you're hungry and you're a captive audience.
yeah, really. Watched a BBC series called Requiem that's on Netflix. It's about a woman with a terrible haircut. That's not the main.
Is that the point of the story?
That's not the plot, but she has whitish kind of hair, and she has like a bob fringe, like a straight fringe, but it's like an inch above her eyebrows, and it looks really fucking weird. And occasionally it will just massively distract you, and you'll be like, "That is a strange haircut." But yeah, speaking about like people not knowing how to play instruments, she's is it cellist? A cello player?
I believe the correct term is cellomancer.
Oh, cellomancer.
Cellomancer,
She's a
yeah.
cellomancer. And it's about how she's playing her cello with her friend this is first massively unbelievable thing. She's really famous and rich because she plays classical music.
Ha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone who knows anything about classical music, no, those people are fucking starving. Just saying. So she's getting interviewed on like fucking on the news and stuff. It's like, oh yeah, you're making classical music, like you're giving it new life, and like people apparently care, which is the most unbelievable thing that I've ever seen.
It's a very niche thing.
Yeah, and like her and her mate, like he's on piano, she's on cello, and her mum comes around. She's like, ooh, and she has dinner with her mum beforehand. She's like, oh, I'm so nervous for you. It's gonna be great. And then it cuts to like this other guy who's in the country somewhere. It looks like one of the guys. What was that guy from Tommy Whitehouse? Played the farmer in the Fast Show.
What on earth are you talking about?
Don't make fun of me.
No, I don't know.
The fucking guy, like
Paul Whitehouse.
whatever. Yeah, that's the guy. He played the farmer in the Fast Show, who the landowner keeps hitting on and stuff.
Yeah, he played the gameskeeper, the groundskeeper.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So it's just literally this guy, and then he walks into this house and he hears a bunch of whispers. So it's obviously like something ghostly, and then he ends up like jumping off the roof and killing himself.
Wait a minute, didn't you watch like another thing that had Paul Whitehouse as someone who was haunted recently?
I did, yes. But Paul Whitehouse wasn't in it. He just dressed exactly like it.
Oh, okay.
So he's dressed like the weird English people in the farm.
Okay, that's
Where
yeah. That's
like
just
they
that
carry
makes sense.
around like a shotgun over their arms and stuff, and they got the Wellingtons and they got the flat caps. And I don't know where they shop, but it all has to be like the same outlet.
Have you never been to one of those shops that just sell that shit?
No.
Yeah, they do exist.
They do.
Yeah,
Oh
they
my
do
God,
exist.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god! I thought that was a joke.
No. Literally, there are shops that just sell but they're like archetypical British like gameskeeper outfit.
Farmer Joyles kind of thing. Okay, sure. But yeah, so but he's Welsh, so he's better than being English. Sorry, because English.
I ain't gonna defend the English.
Yeah, that's fair. I was waiting for something for both of you guys, but you just let me down.
Yeah,
so thanks
no,
there.
that's
yeah,
fair.
no, how typical of English people. But yeah, so like he kills himself, and there's like this weird thing of like there's like a weird kind of ghost thing that's making people kill themselves, and it goes to this woman's mother. This like main character's name is Matilda with the weird haircut, and it goes to Matilda's mum while she's getting ready for her sold-out show of classical music because there's money in it now. And then she's like, oh god, and then she shows up backstage outside because she's gone out for Matilda's gone out for a cigarette, and her mum's like gives her a bouquet, and she's got half her makeup done, and she's obviously been crying a lot, and she's like, I'm so sorry, and then just walks away. So she's like, Mum, and starts chasing her basically through the fucking streets. She chases her to like an underground like car park, and then her mum just cuts her own throat and dies.
Oh. And
she's like, oh shit, that was weird. My mum did the suicide for no reason. That's really strange. And it's like it turns out it's about like these weird ghosts. And
is this like major spoilers?
No. It's obviously ghosts because it's like the start of it is like it literally has whispers and little like post-process like wisps of shit going past, and it's obviously ghosts. And she's like, oh, I found this big box of weird stuff about this little girl who's disappeared in some really small town in Wales, so they go to Wales. She meets an Australian guy who's a fucking shithead, and she's a shithead. Like, Matilda's a shithead too, so she's like, I'll fuck this guy even though I know he's in a relationship, because she's a shithead. And the only honest-to-God nice character is Hal, who is the guy who plays piano, and she's such a dick to him. And he tries really hard, because she's like, no, something spooky's going on. And I think this person, like, so she goes and she harasses the mother of this missing little girl. And, like, and she's basically just goes to Wales and is a dick for, like, an entire season. And the ending was crap. It was like, because there's like multiple kind of things. So there's ghosts and there's other stuff involved. It's literally like somebody retold Silent Hill, but with East Enders in Wales. So right. it's like Silent Hill 3 almost, like kind of.
That's a box art quote.
Somebody quote me for the DVD fucking release.
Shit, that reminded me of one tiny part I meant to mention. You mentioned soap acting, like EastEnders acting. There's a character in the first season of Blake 7 who's played by like a theatre actor. He's like the reoccurring villain. So he's this kind of well-spoken, quite projects his voice,
enunciating, doesn't mess with his hands.
He's a cool character. He's well acted. He does his thing. He didn't want to come back for season 2, so they replaced him with an EastEnders actor, complete with
Alfie
accent.
Moon.
He wasn't an EastEnders actor at the time, but he did become an EastEnders actor afterwards, like a long running one. And yeah, I'll put it this way: his acting is such that there's an episode where he's in disguise and he's like completely covered and he's putting on a voice. Everyone knew it was him because I was looking at the comments on it and people were going, I knew it was him all along because no one else can act that bad.
I will say, like, for Requiem, the acting's pretty good. The acting is good. It's got a bunch of, like, kind of like, what was the love interest from Peep Show, the lady?
Sophie.
Yeah, it's got her in it.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
She's in it. And she's not in it for very much, which is kind of upsetting because
Olivia Colman. Oscar winner, Olivia Colman.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dang. Yeah, no, she's
As
in it.
was Spider-Verse, that we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, very cool.
Does this
did it?
Yeah, didn't that win like Best Animated Feature?
Oh, nice. I didn't
yeah.
notice that one.
Yeah.
Does that mean we get to say that this is our official Oscars episode?
Yes.
Maybe. I mean, if
Although I don't want to
pass
because the
bullshit.
Oscars is garbage and stupid and I hate
Yeah,
it.
it's really fucking stupid. But yeah, so without getting too deep into spoilers, it's just this, like, so everyone who's thinking, oh, her mum is keeping all these photos and newspaper clippings of this little girl that went missing. If you know, her daughter is looking at these. The little girl went missing when she was 4. They moved to London when she was 4 and lost all the baby photos in a fire. And it's like, this is really obvious where this is going. Like, Matilda is the lost kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
it's like, because you kind of like, the moment she goes, oh, why has she got all these files on this kid that was stolen? You go, your mum stole you. Like, you immediately go, you're the fucking kidnapped kid, obviously. And like, and then it starts going like, well, maybe it isn't, and then immediately goes, no, it is. This is exactly what it is. That's fine. And it's just, if they have just really hacked down a lot of the unnecessary extra plot lines, or the extra kind of, oh, it's this and this and this and this. If it had just been like 1 or 2 things, I think it would have been a lot more coherent and interesting. There's a couple of decent shots in there. And like I say, the acting is good, but they don't have much to work with. And it's trying to do this town has a secret, but no one's really threatening. Everyone's just a really happy Welsh pub goer. So it's not scary, because they all talk in a really nice accent, and no one's really threatening. So it's like, Apart from one woman who talks like she's from London, and you go, evil, immediately. And guess what? She is. Which is just like, I've spent enough time in like the Midlands to know that anyone who sounds like they're from London is probably evil.
I mean, I believe there's a few exceptions to that.
Okay, Zoe's pretty cool. But yeah, it was fine. That's the thing. It was shot well. The only thing that it wasn't really done well is that the story sucks. And and the ending is terrible, but like every other thing is pretty decent.
So
the music's nice.
High praise.
Apart from the story, okay, apart from everything that's in it and where it goes, it's great.
I said the characters are good. Hal is the most pure being ever, and I think he's really great. Everyone, it's just, the music is good, the acting is good, the script is fucking terrible. The story is awful and the ending sucks. But apart from that, it's pretty good.
Apart from that, totally check out parts of it.
Check out the people who acted in it, maybe, or the people who did the music for it. But yeah, anything else, maybe not. But yeah, I've got one last thing to talk about, which is a new game. Not a new game to me.
Okay.
Playing...
I think at this point, any of us saying new game on this podcast means new game to them.
Yeah, really. We're pretty bad. But yeah, I've been playing Night in the Woods.
Ah, cool. Oh, I'm so jealous.
Have you not played any?
No, I've still not played it.
Oh, dude. I can recommend. It's evoking some very strange feelings.
I bet.
Because I'm like 3 and a bit hours in. And... God, that game is well written.
So, because, I mean, I spoke about it at length, like a few months back. Yeah. What I want to know...
Am I being gay and doing crimes?
Well, are you going for the Greg route or the B route?
I think, so as much as I want to hang out with Greg, because he's a fucking weirdo.
He likes to fight you with knives in the forest.
He hasn't done that
in the woods, I guess, really.
That hasn't happened yet, but I mean, like... Honestly, that just reminds me of my childhood, so that ain't no big thing. But yeah, no, I think I'm probably going to hang out with B more.
Yeah.
Because, like, I want to hang out... Like, both of the characters are so cool. But I think I want to... It's like, I just kind of like, oh yeah, I'll have, like, alternating days. Because, you know, it does the whole thing of, like, as a school dropout, like, the whole, you just go out and stuff happens, and then you come in and you go to bed, and you might as well be dead because nothing's fucking changing. You're in a shitty little fucking town where everybody knows everything you've done fucking wrong, and they won't let you forget it. Your friends are all doing well, and you're just stuck in the same fucking rut, feeling like you're watching everything you've ever loved die around you. Or something. And so, you know, it's kind of... Sorry.
Okay, carry on.
But yeah, so like it captures that kind of
I feel like I'm going to throw hooks
changed.
through the microphone for a bit, and just silently in the background.
Sorry. Got a bit real there. But no, it captures that kind of an undertone. It's not like a big misery overtone, but it is kind of like a... I don't want to call it a coming of age thing because that's so fucking pretentious.
I think I described it once as Night in the Woods feels like a wistful nostalgia for a place you've never been.
Yeah, that works.
But it's quite sad with it.
Yeah, no, it's bittersweet, and like the characters are great, and yeah, like I think B is really quite a good deep character. But I mean, all of them are like as weird as Greg is, and him sitting there literally trying to convince me that his pickle help isn't a fascist hat because he slapped an anarchy sticker on it, so it's fine.
And because it had a bullet hole in it, so that means that the fascist who wore it is dead.
Yeah, like. Infallible logic there.
Fucking Night in the Woods is great.
It is great, yeah. And like it's like the dream sequences I am really digging. The music, like the way it uses music in that and layers it, fuck me, that's great.
It's really good.
Whew, so good. But yeah, I've just I'm up to like a different day now. But yeah, I keep going like, oh, like when I first started I was like, oh, I'll hang out with Greg today and I'll hang out with B like alternate days. I hung out with Greg like once. But yeah, I kept walking past where B works and going, oh, I want to hang out with B.
I had that because I wanted to hang out with Greg.
I fucking, oh my god, I feel her.
Yeah, that's the thing. I wanted to hang out with Greg, but I was like, but B needs a person around them more.
Well, no,
Probably May's the worst choice of a person to do that, but you know what? It's better than nobody.
Yeah.
Probably. Hard to tell at some points.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, B. Dang, I've been there.
Yeah.
That ain't right.
I will say one thing for Matt here. If you, as a way to entice you to play it sooner rather than later.
I want to. I'm just waiting for it to be on sale.
Just fucking buy it. The guy that is one of the main people behind making it, a guy called Scott Benson. He was like an animator and artist before doing this.
Yeah.
Before he got into like games dev. He's actually recently started up a workers co-op game dev studio.
Nice.
Yeah. And he has done some art for a band that you may know. You can buy a Streetlight Manifesto shirt with he's done the art on it, and it looks like the characters from Night in the Woods.
Nice. Yeah, that weird that you say that because I was thinking, I was like, and you've got the added bonus that the art style of the game is the Streetlight Manifesto artwork. So that's literally what I was waiting for a chance to say.
It's pretty streetlighty.
So yeah, I've been.
Did he do the most recent videos for the Streetlight? Because that's a very similar style.
I don't believe
the animated
animation
videos
looks a bit different because like the one on was it Would You Be Impressed?
Yeah.
That's a bit too tweened. It's a bit too smooth, I'd say, for Scott Benson, from what I've seen. But yeah, having a quick look now. But yeah, I mean, who knows?
It's that was animated by Jürgen Blossklopper. Bossklopper.
Best name.
Jürgen? Would that be Jürgen? Jürgen Bossklopper.
I'm gonna go ahead and assume that our pronunciation was perfect.
Yes, our pronunciation was perfect.
It was prefect.
It was prefect. But no, he didn't do that. But yeah, he has done a Streetlight shirt. So
nice.
Yeah, which I've been desperately waiting for when it being in stock and me having the spare money have lined up.
Yeah.
Because they haven't lined up so far. But yeah.
But yeah, I'm enjoying Night in the Woods. I kind of want to play it now, but I have to like work.
I know, it's terrible, isn't
It's fucking lame.
Yeah. All right then, shall we move on to the questions?
Yes.
Yes.
And then we can get back to playing games.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. So I have a fair few questions.
I was gonna say we need to introduce the email.
Maybe a little louder.
We need to introduce the email.
Oh, fucking hell.
Maybe not that loud.
We need to introduce the email.
Okay, that was just as quiet as before.
We need to introduce the email.
Too loud.
We need to introduce the email.
Who's editing this?
Me.
Okay, fair enough. You can cackle that as much as you want.
What's the email address, Wibblet?
It is only drummermatt at snipeandwib@gmail.com.
Drummermatt, what's that email again?
Only drummermatt at snipeandwib@gmail.com.
Good.
Okay, and
Good.
what are the questions that people have sent in to us?
All right, so
Which we've been going for a little longer than we intended, so we will answer these relatively quickly.
relatively quickly. I had 5 people ask me for Just Cause, so I have the opposite problem of before no one asking.
Now you have to go buy 4 extra copies.
Yeah, I know. No, I'd go into the first one. And,
Yeah, fair enough. Thank you for those who were being so heroic.
I think
though.
at least 4 of the people were asking out of pity rather than...
Well, thank you for asking out of pity.
Yes. Reek the Danny DeVito Guardsman
Oh, good name.
has been watching a lot of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia recently.
Really?
And they're becoming a massive fan of Danny DeVito, obviously.
Danny DeVito is the internet's dad. And not
So the question that needs to be asked and needs to be answered by you guys is, would you rather fight a Danny DeVito-sized toddler or 5 toddler-sized Danny DeVitos?
That is a great question.
It would have to be the 5 toddler-sized Danny DeVitos because
I'm walking here.
Yeah, they'd all have his voice, right?
Yeah.
They'd be like a little bit pitch shifted because they're small.
because just that sight alone is definitely what I want. Yeah, I need. That's the thing I need in my life.
Is every entity in this scenario Danny DeVito?
No, I think it's just the 5. The
You
5
have what
toddlers.
is...
Or
Yeah,
do I have to fight a big toddler?
Yeah, it would be that or fight a Danny DeVito-sized toddler.
Okay, is there any option where I'd probably rather punch a baby than punch Danny DeVito?
I mean, that's true.
Because
But
Danny DeVito is the only innocent being to exist. And babies, they know what they've fucking done. They know it. They know I know, which is why they don't like me.
that's why they try and fight.
That's
you
why
all the
they
time.
try and fight me. That's why they send giant toddlers after me to try and fight me, because they know this secret.
Do we all agree with the 5 toddler-sized Danny DeVitos?
Yes.
I'm going to fight the big baby because I don't want to hurt Danny DeVito.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, you could choose to lose, and then you have 5 Danny DeVitos to hang out with. But
Shit,
you made your bed.
Oh no!
Just hide your knives because they'll use them as toe knives.
Okay, moving on.
I hate this game.
So next up, Lars. I'm not going to be able to pronounce his nickname, Frank.
Okay.
Geistertans?
Oh, Geistertans.
Yeah.
Geistertans. Yep, I nailed it.
Geistertans, yeah.
Just no questions, just 2 quick points. In Germany, for 40k, you can't call dreadnoughts because the direct translation of the word dreadnought just means warship.
Oh.
So
it just be boat.
Yeah.
Here is my
boat army.
Yeah, I love it.
So dreadnoughts are called cybots.
Oh.
Which I think they sound. I think my answer to this when I replied to the email was that sounds like an appropriate name, but only for the Space Crusade dreadnoughts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
absolutely
spot on.
yeah.
No.
They seem like they could be cybots. They also have a Netflix show suggestion if you need more Netflix to watch. It's a show called Kingdom.
I've heard of it.
It's a and bear with me on this, historical zombie drama.
Right.
Set in the 15th/17th century Korea, so it's a Korean-made thing.
Oh.
Okay.
Based off a webcomic/manga.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so it uses it's not necessarily just the Western style zombies, it's a bit more, you got different
It's probably
stuff going
more
on.
like the Chinese Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I think I haven't got the whole email here actually up, but I think it was kind of sort of a combination of the different sort of influences.
Okay.
No, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, and I just realised that I got vampires instead of zombies because I can't remember. It's just because like the whole Chinese vampires have their arms out and they hop.
Yeah.
So I kind of like arms out. It kind of clicks up zombie in my head. So before anyone's writing an angry comment.
Next up, Kyle asked a question. We have a fuck, marry, kill.
Oh.
Okay.
And the fuck, marry, kill 3 options are the concepts of fucking, marrying, and killing.
That's a good one. I like that. Okay.
Okay. What we should do is
Kill.
Fuck the concept of killing to mellow it out a bit.
Okay. Because it needs to chill.
Okay.
Then marry fucking.
So then you can fuck and be married.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we kill marriage, I guess.
Yeah, because it's just a social construct and doesn't mean shit. Woo! It just makes paying bills easier.
Ever so slight tax benefits, yeah.
Woo! Also, it means that Wib can call the doctors on my behalf. Woo!
Yeah.
We're really selling this marriage thing, aren't we?
You know, I was like doing that like off the cuff and just making it up as I was going along, and that actually worked out as remarkably coherent.
Yeah, nice one.
And I'm kind of shocked by
See,
that.
that happens to me maybe 10% of the time.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't think we're going to improve on that. Moving on. Bloodwolf. Moving on. Bloodwolf Koji has got a fuck, marry, kill for the three of us.
Okay.
I mean, as in one each.
Yeah, okay.
Snipe.
Yeah.
I think some of these are possible duplicates we've had before, so let's test your consistency. But it's not the complete same question.
Okay.
Ulrich the Slayer. Gilliman. I'm not going to try and pronounce his first name. Roboot.
Rabute.
Big Bobby G.
Big Bobby G.
Yeah, Big Bobby G. And Haval Redblade.
Okay, so I probably want to fuck, like, Ulrich the Pussy Slayer.
Do you feel bad about saying that already?
I feel I should, but I don't.
Fair enough, then. Fair enough.
So yeah, I'll fuck Ulrich. What were the other two?
Gilliman and Redblade.
I'm gonna marry Gilliman because he seems like a total dude.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna kill Redblade. I'm just gonna ignore him.
He go away now.
I'm just gonna be like, shoo,
Yeah.
Shoo.
shoo,
Be gone.
get out of here,
Okay.
you cheeky boy.
Okay. Wib.
Yes.
Mad Dog Grotznik.
Okay.
Vulcan.
Okay.
Miriel Sabathiel.
I have no fucking clue who that is.
You should totally marry Vulcan because he would give the best hugs.
Do you want a spelling?
No, we got it. I like how people keep putting like
okay, it's her.
super
Okay.
kind of like niche characters in here. It's like, God, we can't be asked with all this.
Yeah, no.
good
This question is a great combination of people we've already had and people we've never heard of.
Yeah.
So, so what was it? It was Mad Dog Grotznik.
Yep.
It's
Vulcan.
Miriel. And Vulcan. Okay. So. Okay, so I think what I'm going to have to go with.
I will say Vulcan feels like he would be the kind of husband where he'd greet you coming in from like work with like a cute little apron on with a tray full of your favorite cookies.
Exactly. That's why he's obvious marriage material.
He's
Vulcan
the
is
definition
obviously
of marriage material.
And
then he could call the doctors on your behalf and make paying bills a bit easier.
And I guess as the orc player, I've probably got to fuck Grotznik.
I mean, you gotta, right?
I gotta.
You gotta.
I mean, granted, it'll probably be like trying to have sex with a printer, given how much of him is robotic at this point.
but I'm just gonna say it. Canon printers are fucking sexy.
Well, that's something that we've learned about you today.
Praise
And
the
I guess we'll have to
Messiah.
kill Miriel largely because I had to look up who she was, and her Lexicanum entry is like 2 sentences long. She's the only sister of battle acknowledged to have willingly fallen to chaos.
Yeah, so she's a jerk.
I knew there was only one, but I didn't know that was her name. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I guess she's dying now.
I am literally drinking out of a blood for the blood god mug right now.
You are the only snipe who's known to have willingly fallen to chaos.
They make great coffee, you know?
Yeah.
It's fine.
So what's yours, Matt?
Me, I have Lorgar,
Yep.
Azrael,
Yeah.
and Colonel Strachan.
Okay.
So my answer, Lorgar is going to be killed because the whole fanatical religious nonsense is just
Nonsense.
nonsense. So
He's
we kill him
also a
off.
bit of a twat.
He is a bit
Yeah, I mean, you have to be a religious fanatic.
I'm gonna just say this, pardon my language, but heck, Lorgar.
Heck, Lorgar.
Heck that Jeffer.
Azrael, as I think we've possibly already mentioned, far too secretive to marriage, so it has to be, but possibly good for a fuck.
Yeah,
So
because
we go
maybe
for
he's
that.
really secretive about good fuck knowledge. Like,
Maybe.
You just don't know.
That's
And then also the added bonus of this, even though despite seeming that I'm marrying Strachan purely out of he's the only one left, I had thought about this, and he's got lots of like bionic things going on, right?
Oh, he has
So
attachments,
over a long marriage, that's a lot of time for things to get fucking weird with those attachments.
Yeah.
Are you gonna get freaky with all of his bionics?
Oh, it's just going to keep getting freakier. Like you have him for a night, it can't get that weird. But
Yeah,
if
but-
you've got someone for life, that is things. that it's gonna go places.
You're gonna
Basically,
be
you remember
like-
that scene from Blood Dragon where he uses
Yeah.
his robotic arm?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, basically that, but over the space of
Well,
like 50 years.
that's week 2.
Yeah,
I mean-
that's week 2.
Where he has like a vibrating hand, like fucking
Nero
Nero
does.
from
yeah.
DMC5. I like the idea that he'll just pull off a hand and then replace it with this gigantic dildus.
With his Kyrie pleasuring hand.
Yes.
Is Kyrie his...
I don't know. I was talking about.
It's been a long time since I played DMC4.
I was talking about Matt's new husband.
Oh, well,
actually.
yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah. Because he has the Dildus arms. Or the Dildus fingers. Whatever draw Matt wants,
Both.
he'll
Dildus
have.
fingers on Dildus arms.
Oh, good lord.
I like the way... See, this is why you guys are a perfect, like, couple. Creativity, I like it.
Right, moving on. Woody. We have.
Okay.
Sorry. What we were just talking
That
about,
was-
going straight into the name Woody, was like, woo.
I didn't see it until I read it out loud. I was like, oh, okay.
Sorry, dude, your name is awesome. We're just filthy.
Just that was a
Bad people.
that was a bad time
Alright.
to segue into
We
the...
have
Contextually.
questions, we have fuck, marry, kills, and we have husbandus and waifus.
Oh,
Ooh,
God.
I
Okay.
like that.
And doggo pics. So this is like the ultimate email.
Okay.
Cool. Can we marry Woody?
So yes, with consent.
Okay. Well, I mean, if they're up for it, of course. Yeah.
So general question to all of us first. What do you guys think happened to Captain Titus after the events on Grey? How do you pronounce that? I've never read it out loud before.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I forget offhand how you pronounce the name
Let's
of the
just
planet.
call it gravy.
Gravy.
Okay.
After the gravy incident, what do we think happened? What do we think happened to Captain
I
Titus?
like it how the gravy incident is in canon with the Aurelian Crusade.
If I remember correctly, what was supposed to happen was he was supposed to...
He was supposed to splinter off.
Yeah, he was supposed to be found to be untainted by the Inquisition. He then splinters off and makes his own Space Marine chapter.
Which is a thing.
That's what was supposed to have happened, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But
that notwithstanding, what
in
do
the
you
sequels,
think?
it didn't get made.
Yeah, in this, because that's just okay. Ignoring that, what
Yeah.
do you think happened?
I reckon he just went for a nice long nap. I think he deserved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want him to like. I think I'm gonna Mary Sue this beautiful big scary boy, and I'm gonna have that. He was basically found to like obviously not have a chaos like taint on him.
He didn't
But-
have the Ian Watson taint.
He didn't have the Ian Watson taint, but the Inquisition couldn't be bothered to like not do him in because it looked bad. Let's be honest. The first game made him look bad.
Yeah.
So they're just basically gonna kill him and basically just nuke him from orbit. So he escapes and then he basically just hops planet like secretly because he's really good at like crouching. So he puts
He's actually
on.
colossally bad at crouching.
No, he's like in this. He
can't crouch.
Okay, game mechanically, that's not like
No,
going to canon.
It's canon. Titus's knees can't bend.
No. He's good at putting his ass to the ground, but his legs.
Oh, his legs just go straight. It's like a Lego man.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
he actually
to you.
just sits down like a toddler whenever he needs to crouch.
Yeah, and like he buys he buys a bunch of skateboards and straps them to his leg. And he basically he builds himself like a knockoff chassis and pretends he's a car. He catches this fucking hell from that. No, I'm trying to tell a legitimate canonical story, and you guys keep making me laugh, which is really discrediting me right now because I am telling the truth. He hops on a space ferry, pretending to be a car, and then gets flown to a distant planet where he creates a new life as a pastry chef, and everyone's just like, "Oh, it's our tall friend from the mysterious outer space," and he's just a tall man who likes baking cupcakes.
I like to think that he's
And he,
still
like-
wearing his Space Marine armor, but he's got like street clothes over it.
He does, yeah. He's got like
Yeah.
he's got. I am obsessed
A tank
with like.
top.
I'm obsessed with power armor with the cute little like apron on the outside with little frills on it. So he's just like kiss the cook on it, and he keeps like stylizing all like because he's really specializes in like icing and like sugar cookie icing. He just loves it.
Yeah.
Because he's just very dexterous like that. Somehow, I don't know, maybe he learned it somewhere after he was released from his brothers, which he does miss. So he keeps putting little U's, and on the Valentine's Day celebration, he just puts the Ultramarines U, and it's like, I love you, which is like a subtle kind of nod.
Yeah.
And people love his U cakes. They're very tasty. And he just lives there out until he's basically just stops. I don't know, because Space Marines don't really just die. They tend to die in battle before they get like super, super, super old. So he's just gonna hang out there, and everyone will be like, the gentle giant Tidus, the not Marine.
They pronounce it incorrectly.
Yeah, he pronounces his name incorrectly, and his last name is not Startes. It's yeah, not Start. He's from the south, so it's okay. So they're all like, yeah, that's fine. We like Tidus, not Startes, and he makes the best cakes.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. And also, what's the little shit's name? Leonidas, or whatever his name is.
I think it is Leonidas.
He gets punched in the head for the rest of his life. Repeatedly. He's just sat in a room, and there's a face punch in the head machine.
It's one of those
just fucking belting him really hard in the face.
It's one of those machines that the ladies have a good time with. That's basically a
but it's
a
souped
thing.
up.
Push it like going back and forth.
Yeah, but it's
except
like
it's a fist.
it's been souped up, so it'll hurt. A
They
space
definitely
marine.
exist. So
They definitely
Okay,
exist.
it's
But
not
it's
a
got
rubber
like a
fist.
punching fist. It's got a ceramite fist on it, and it's just punching him repeatedly square on the nose.
Yeah.
For the rest of his life. He's not even allowed to go on missions anymore.
but not that hard so that the rest of his life is quite short.
Yeah,
Like,
so just hard enough so that it hurts and it's an inconvenience.
It's really annoying.
It's really annoying. So yeah, basically that.
Okay.
And
right.
also, there's another machine that occasionally comes out and flicks his ear,
okay,
like-
good.
Okay.
like right in the earlobe. Like,
So that's the first question out of about 7 in this email.
Right. Okay.
okay, John, about you didn't say about yours.
Well, no, that was everyone's. So then, on to mine now. So, question for me:
Okay.
who's the better drummer? This is a hard question. Dave Grohl or Animal from the Muppets?
Ooh. Did you
I
know
know.
that they're literally the same guy?
I mean, if they ever made like a live-action Muppets, I mean, obviously that doesn't work. But Dave Grohl would definitely play Animal.
Dude, they're making like a fucking live-action Sonic movie. They'll make like
Yeah,
a
this is-
Muppets
yeah,
movie
true.
where there's no Muppets in it, and it's just
yeah.
Dave Grohl with bad teeth in and like
No, it'll be
Orange hair.
they'll CGI Dave Grohl. They'll make a CG and it'll be just Dave Grohl.
Yeah. Okay.
they'll just
They'll-
badly green screen it with light spill
Yeah.
and bad cutouts and everything. Those chromas. Oh god, fucking damn.
Yeah.
I think obviously it should be Animal because Animal manages to play drums when his drumsticks are obviously made of rubber. So you know.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. Yeah. No.
And also, he manages to do that with an arm up his ass.
Yeah.
Which I don't want to assume anything about Dave Grohl, but I don't think he's ever done that.
I don't know
I
if
mean,
he's ever
he,
played a
he
gig.
drums with he's broken his limbs and carried on going.
Fair.
But-
Jesus Christ.
But until we have
Yeah.
proof that he's played a gig with a hand up him.
But
Yeah.
okay,
Can't
fine.
compare
Animal
him.
just, but it's very
Just.
close.
Because that'd be one hell of a distraction.
Interestingly enough, Dave Grohl, as we mentioned, can play Animal in a film, but Animal could also play Dave Grohl in like a film about Dave Grohl. So
yeah, like not even like
I've
about
heard-
drumming, just kind of like
Yeah.
he could just do it like an autobiographical kind of
Okay,
movie.
I'm petitioning it
Yeah.
now. We need to make a story, like a thing about like the tale of Nirvana. It can be like a real grim, gritty, like upsetting kind of story. Except Dave Grohl is played by Animal.
Yeah,
yeah.
that
So
works. That's good. That's
Snipe.
good. Yes.
Will the Snipe and Wib chapter receive Primaris Marines?
Yeah. Why not? I mean, I don't think everyone. I don't think the Imperium would be super happy about giving us Primaris Marines.
Don't trust them. They will do some weird shit. with
But
them.
we're gonna end up with them anyway. So
Yeah,
I
we'll borrow
believe
them and
in-
forget to take them back.
I believe in terms of the quote-unquote canon, like official canon of the Cardinal Archivists, everything exists slightly before 8th edition happened.
But I still
for
want
ease of
Primaris.
things,
So
yeah.
yeah,
All right.
we'll get them eventually. Just it might take a little while because the Imperium probably thinks we're a bit stupid.
Fair. Wib.
Yes.
Would it be a fair comparison that the Star Trek Mirrorverse is a diet/low-fat version of the Imperium of Man?
I mean, I guess they are like a tyrannical, heavily xenophobic bunch of shitheads.
So yeah, that checks out actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Except somehow, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, but 40k has more nuance.
Okay, compared to the mirror universe, yeah.
Yeah, compared to that one thing and that one thing only.
Yeah, I think that might be one of the few things that nuance can be used in terms of 40k. It's because the mirror universe was kind of invented, and it was very its portrayals have, some of them are okay, but most of them are just tedious. So yeah.
A question for everyone again.
Cool.
Which is your favourite Jerry Anderson production?
Probably the one that sticks with me the most is Captain Scarlet.
I like Captain Scarlet too, because Captain Black was cool. He was fucking spooky boy.
Although
he was also kind of hot.
Actually, no, I recount that. My favourite one is Space 1999.
I'm still gonna stick with super sexy Daddy Black.
That's fair.
Captain Black is Daddy.
That's fair.
I want to fuck a Muppet. I'm sorry.
It's not a Muppet. It's a super marionette.
I want to fuck a super marionette, you guys.
And those ones, they can't move their legs because their bodies.
So you feel like fucking a space marine.
Their bodies. Their bodies are too heavy in Captain Scarlet because this is the worst, most useless piece of information I know. But the puppets that were used in Captain Scarlet, because their heads were smaller because they wanted a more realistic scale, all the mechanisms that were normally in the head to make parts of the head move were actually in the body.
Okay.
So the bodies became too heavy for them to make them walk, which is why in Captain Scarlet you basically never see the legs move.
Well, I mean, to be fair, when I'm done with him, he probably won't be able to move his legs either.
Fair point.
Why am I talking about fucking super marionette?
What's your favourite Jerry Anderson production?
Matt, which super marionette would you fuck?
It's a hard question. I think Thunderbirds is probably the one that I watched. The Stingray theme tune occasionally gets into my head.
Stingray theme tune, Stingray theme tune.
Yeah, exactly that.
Anything can happen in the next half.
What was the one with the guy who had a briefcase? Was it called Joe something?
Joe 90.
Yeah, that's it. We used to spend a lot of time as kids out of Lego, making various briefcase things that had locks and things hidden inside them. But I think Thunderbirds does stick with me the longest.
That's fair.
But there's a story related to this. So they ask, not only because they love the Captain Scarlet the game review you did.
Oh, thank you.
But also as a personal connection, which is quite a fun story. 2 personal stories, in fact.
Oh.
Woody met his wife. When they first met, she came into his room at uni and saw the Thunderbirds and Captain Scarlet DVDs, and they hit it off immediately. and now it's 10 years later, and they've been married for 2 years.
Oh,
which is sweet.
That's so lovely.
And the second personal story is apparently they met Jerry at a book signing a while ago, and told Jerry this first story, and his response to this was, "Well, don't blame me if you break up."
Wow, dude.
Fucking hell.
Okay, wow.
Which is great. So yeah, rest in peace, Joey.
Oh Jesus, what a fucking thing to say, mate. Fuck me. Oof. Oof.
Right, okay. Husbando and waifu choices. Husbando,
Yes.
Johnny Rico from Starship Troopers.
He's no Michael Irons.
I'm assuming we're dealing with movie version here rather than book version.
Yeah, we will be.
Yeah. Yeah, because we need to be able to do it just off appearance.
Okay. Well, that's fucking. Is Casper Van Dien?
Yeah. He's too. I mean, he's not my type. So I'd probably just murder him in cold blood.
Yeah, but we're dealing with the waifu rating.
Rating. Okay, so just on looks, because I remember he's basically the main character, but he's kind of a bit. I am generic main person character thing. Bleh. So I'm gonna give him a 4.
Would it change your opinion to know that in the later CGI sequels that are in canon, he basically ends up looking like Big Boss?
Yeah, he's got a eye patch and a lot of scars.
Oh,
actually, realistically, with the kind of power armor
he's got
wearing,
a Reed Richards fucking spoof of fucking grey.
He actually looks kind of like Solidus.
Actually, I'm kind of getting into this, so I'm going to give him a 9. Just because I'm playing the long game here.
An eye patch adds 5 points for anyone keeping score.
Yeah.
No, eye patch, facial hair, and scarring adds a lot of points. That's basically ticking all my boxes. Yeah, no, okay, I'm going to give him a 10.
If I remember rightly, Casper Van Dien does still voice him at that point.
That's fine.
I think they did do that for the later, straight to DVD movies.
But yeah, no, I gotta say that he's like 10 out of 10 daddy man. Right
Okay.
there. So yeah.
I'll give him a 7.
Give him a which one? Is
That's
that
for
the younger
that's
one
for
or the
overarching.
Okay, because
yeah.
I'm strictly speaking just to the older one.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And you, Matt?
I mean, I agree with Sniping that he gets better with time and age.
He's like wine.
But he's still just an average 6 for me, to be honest.
That's
Okay,
fair.
that's
Still not enough facial hair.
Yeah, I mean, the one I'm looking at, I think the lighting is accentuating his facial hair, but it's still pretty good.
Okay.
I like at least
Okay.
a hefty kind of 5 o'clock shadow.
Waifu, Dana Scully from the X-Files.
10.
Yeah, 10.
Yeah, 10.
Just literally, if there was a higher number, I would give her a higher number because she is a perfect fucking 10.
She's just a cool character.
She's amazing.
She's
She's
a really
like,
cool character.
she's really smart. She's got a really sharp tongue. She's really fucking good at her job. She puts up with Mulder's bullshit, but still like keeps telling him he's a fucking moron. She is amazing.
She's also literally
She's also
seen
a
aliens
badass.
and is like, I don't think aliens exist.
Yeah, really. So it's like she's just amazing. I love her. She's great.
All right. Fuck my kills.
Okay.
Snipe,
Yeah.
Troy Tempest, Phones, or Atlanta Shore.
Who are these people?
They are characters from Stingray.
Oh god.
Do you want me to find them
Yeah,
for
I
you?
have no idea.
We've got a themed one.
Okay,
So-
okay. Fucking.
You don't have the history I do.
There's just a bunch of old people. Okay.
Okay.
Who's she?
That is Marina. Aquamarina.
Fuck off. These are all so ugly. None of these guys are attractive.
That's Troy Tempest.
Oh, God.
That's Phones.
Phones?
Yeah, Phones.
As in, I'm calling you on the telephone.
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
So I can find Atlanta for you.
What is happening?
I think one of the only thing I watched the Stingray for the theme tune and did not watch any of the rest of it.
That's Atlanta. So there you go. That's your choices.
I don't like this game anymore. Okay, so show me the pictures again.
That's Troy Tempest.
That's Troy Tempest. He looks like he's had some really bad, like, prawns.
Yeah.
You know?
That's Phones.
Why do they all have yoy hands?
Because puppets.
These aren't very sexy puppets. I'm really quite disappointed.
Just throw them out.
You wanted
Okay.
to fuck a puppet.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I wanted to fuck a hot puppet. These puppets aren't hot. Okay,
Yeah,
anyway.
fair.
That's Troy Tempest,
Yes.
who looks like a melted John Travolta who's allergic to prawns.
That's true. That is absolutely
That's
accurate.
someone else.
That's Atlanta.
Okay, so I'm gonna kill Troy Tempest. He has to die.
Okay.
I'm gonna... Where's the other two people?
That's Phones.
I like that they're memorable.
How much you are completely incapable of remembering these characters' names is beautiful. They're literally on screen right now, and you still can't remember them. Some of them are even labelled.
It's difficult. I just want to fuck Aquamarina. She's beautiful. I don't like any of these other people. Okay, so Bones, was it?
Phones.
Bones. That is not a fucking name. I'll fuck him,
Okay.
and I'll marry
Atlanta.
Atlanta. That's Atlanta? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That
Good.
was a fucking ordeal.
All right, moving on. I don't think we need to dwell on
Okay, I'm
that.
gonna minimize this fucking Google search
Web.
because it's horrible.
Yes.
Wib, Scott Tracy, Virgil Tracy, or Gordon Tracy.
Why did he get the better ones? Those puppets look way better.
I mean, Gordon's wet, if that helps.
I'm sorry.
I've got to remember what Gordon looks like.
Gordon's 4, right? I'm trying to remember.
I'm
which one's
afraid
which now.
I've got to kill Gordon because his puppet terrifies me.
Yeah, okay, fair.
He's a scary puppet.
He had the puppet that upsets me to look at the most.
You
I'd
don't want to fuck that?
You don't want to ram that sex machine.
I'd probably fuck Scott because
He looks like he's got like that little smirk going on.
yeah, because he's he's like the token like main brother, and you know
Sorry, he's been voiced by two people, which is Shane Rimmer and Rasmus Hardicker.
his name is Rasmus Harddicker. Oh, that's in the 2015 one. Okay.
Yeah, you've
okay.
got-
Oh, that
You
doesn't count. That
You
doesn't
have
count.
got to
No, that's
fuck
not
that
real.
guy.
Yeah, that's not that. The new one doesn't exist.
Let's not mention that.
Yeah, I'd fuck Scott because he's like the token like main brother, as it were, because he pilots Thunderbird 1.
And co-pilots Thunderbird 3.
Yeah, I guess he does. Yeah.
So he can fly a spaceship. He's cool.
But
Astronauts are a good fuck.
I'd have to marry Virgil. He seems like the dependable one, and he has multiple compartments that you can get different toys out of.
Really?
He's a trucker, effectively.
Yeah. And he just seems like the more dependable one. So yeah, that's what I'd do.
He's also he looks very of the time as well.
Yes. So what's yours, Matt?
Me, I've got Captain Scarlet,
Okay.
Lieutenant Green, and Colonel White.
Okay.
And first off, I'm going to have to kill Colonel White. I'm sorry, but if I fuck him, I'd break him. And if I marry him, it's not in terms of like maximising. I'd get him for a few years.
Well, what if he's rich?
That doesn't affect me at all.
I know, but I'm just kind of saying for like just so you can be a complete bastard if you want.
Yeah, no. We're just going to have to kill him.
No, that's fair, that's fair.
I'm going to avoid being a bastard, and I'm just going to kill him.
I'm going to avoid being a bastard and just kill the old person because he's basically dead already.
Yeah, and he probably voted Brexit.
I gave Drummer Matt an out, and he just didn't take it, so I don't know what to do. I don't know, would you rather be a gold digger or a fucking murderer? Apparently Drummer Matt would rather just kill old people because he's ageist.
Yeah. No. Okay, I'll ignore him.
Okay.
until he dies of old age.
Which won't be much longer.
Captain Scarlet or Lieutenant? Is he Lieutenant or is he Lieutenant? Is he British or American?
He's
Because
Lieutenant.
some of them are British and some of them are American, right? And some of them are from like, other places. In fact,
I'm sure
Lieutenant
it's
Green wasn't Lieutenant Green. He's from somewhere else.
Well, he is a person of colour, is Lieutenant Green.
That's pretty rad. Especially
Or I think it is said as Lieutenant Green in the show.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm pretty sure it's Lieutenant.
I don't know how anyone else pronounces that. Anyway,
Lieutenant.
Captain Scarlet seems like he's a bit too... He's the main guy, right? So he's going to be a bit too full of himself to marry. So I'll do a fuck with him and then marry Lieutenant Green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have to call him Lieutenant, though, because you're English.
Lieutenant Green.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Okay, cool.
And very last thing is... Up. Doggo pics, just to complete a perfect email.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, look at those puppies.
Those are good. Are you actually going to post these on Twitter this time?
I'm making no promises. I might if I remember.
I do want to give those lovely little doggos a good pet
They are
because they
good.
seem really nice.
They're
great.
Puppies.
Good puppies. Oh, I love them.
Okay.
What else we got? Because this is running very
That's
long.
the end of that email. We've got a few more emails, but let's just speed round time.
Okay,
cool.
lightning round.
Pyro asked, favourite characters from Critical Role? Specific to me for first series and for you the second series, because that's what we both watched. I think.
I haven't seen any of it, so...
Okay.
They lumped you in with Snipe for series 2 because I think they probably assumed you've watched some of it by osmosis at this point.
I absolutely
No,
have
he
not.
hasn't, no.
Oh, okay. Well done.
Well done.
All right.
Okay, Drummer, what about you?
Series 1. Ooh, Scanlan's great. He's just hilarious. But I think it's mostly because Sam Riegel's great and hilarious. And I like his arc. So yeah, Scanlan.
Okay, so for me, I absolutely adore Fjord, Yasha, and Bo.
If you go on, I was like, you're just going to name all
and
of them.
Jester.
Like, come on, speed round. You can name one.
No!
You have to name one and then we move on.
Oh.
And if you just groan, we're just going to move on anyway.
Just Yasha.
Okay,
good.
Bo.
A gestalt entity
Fjord.
of multiple of them combined. Okay,
Yes,
good.
Yeah,
yes.
cool.
Yes.
Okay, Atticus. Fuck, marry, kill. For Snipe. Well, so don't answer straight away. Your first one for Snipe was Hanzo,
Ugh.
Perturabo, and the racist biplane from Far Cry 5. But then they felt mean Then they felt mean. Did I say who this is from? This is from Atticus.
Yes.
They felt mean, so they've updated yours. So yours is now He-Man, Lord Humongous, and Geralt.
Oh my god, that first one was horrible. I don't want to marry a racist biplane. Can I kill everyone? Okay, so I'm gonna marry Geralt because I can do many fucks with him
Yes.
once I'm
Yeah.
married. I'm gonna fuck Lord Humongous. And
Yeah.
and I'm gonna kill He-Man because honestly, I think he'd just take it as a kindness.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, Skeletor's way sexier anyway.
Absolutely. Have you seen him pre like becoming Skeletor?
Ooh, is he?
He's a daddy.
He's a daddy.
Seriously, you should look him up that if you haven't seen him.
Google pre-skeleton Skeletor. He is the definition of tasty man.
In like a 2000 series, they like gave him like proper backstory, and you can see him.
I'm actually gonna Google it. Because Drama Matt, you need to thirst with us. Because oh dang.
In the interest of speed rounds, let's go on a long tangent.
There you go, dude.
There you go.
Oh my.
Yeah, right.
He is someone you'd want to fuck and not marry.
Yeah.
That was such a specific fucking burn.
Look at his eyebrows.
Yeah.
He's not going to. He's going to treat you good for one night and one night only.
Yeah, that's him looking at you as he's about to treat you right, so it's fine.
Yeah,
anyway,
for one and only time.
So you've done your fuck, marry, kill. What's the next one?
Wib.
Okay.
Jack Draco.
Okay.
Randolph Carter.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Khan Noonien Singh.
Okay.
But played by Benedict Cumberbatch.
Okay. Are we talking about Randolph Carter,
The
voice
actor and writer for TTS?
or are we talking about the character of the Lovecraft story?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say, it's because considering like the collection, it's probably not the Randolph Carter we know. So we're just gonna say that it's the Lovecraft story.
So if it's the Lovecraft story guy, what was the first one again?
Jack Draco.
Okay,
I really want to pronounce it Jacques because it's J-A-Q.
He is from Ian Watson's novel Inquisitor, so he's going to die.
He deserves it.
Fair.
Honestly, I think that's again a kindness.
Which means, I guess I am going to fuck Randolph Carter.
From the stories.
From the stories.
Not from TTS.
This is going to be one of those complicated Discord messages, isn't it?
It really is.
Getting down deep with some eldritch horror, that could be a thing.
Deep dicks and
I literally don't remember anything about the Randolph Carter story at the moment, actually. Yeah. I completely forgot about it.
I'm blanking pretty hard.
I think it's one of the short ones. What's it called? It's the something of Randolph Carter.
The fucking of Randolph Carter.
There's a short game based around it. And so I guess I am marrying Benedict Cumberbatch, I guess.
I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch seems like a cool enough guy. He just isn't good in Sherlock. Well, no. I mean, he is good in Sherlock. It's just the script is fucking balls.
And he's not great in Into Darkness, but that's because Into Darkness is hot garbage.
That's the thing. It's like he's...
But what I could do is marry him, but every time we make sweet, sweet love, I'll close my eyes and pretend he's Ricardo Montalban. The true Khan in my heart.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Yeah, sure, why not? Go for it.
What next?
My fuck, marry, kill. I get Adam West's Batman.
Ooh.
Okay.
Khaldor Drago.
Okay.
And Gandalf.
Okay.
That's a great collection.
Yeah.
I like it.
First up, I mean, who doesn't want to fuck Adam West's Batman?
I think if there's two people...
I'm just imagining the, pow sound effects as you're doing it.
There are two people on this earth. There are two people on this earth. People who would admit that they would fuck Adam West Batman and liars.
And Adam West.
Yeah. And Adam West. Who is not a liar.
Adam West would totally want to fuck Adam West's Batman.
Dude, everyone does.
Exactly.
Okay.
Adam West's Batman would definitely want to fuck Adam West's Batman.
Yeah,
That's
but
true.
I feel that Adam West Batman wouldn't be a very satisfying screw.
No?
Because I think
I'd want to try.
I think he'd just get tired pretty much instantly and just want to nap.
I was going to say we're really bad at this quickfire thing. We've been
Yeah.
recording
Okay.
for 2.5 hours right now.
Yeah.
Okay, fucking Batman.
Okay.
I'm going to marry Gandalf. I feel like you can have some good conversations.
Yeah, I think he'd be really
Yeah.
boring and just be smoking at you like a jerk all day.
We can just sit and smoke. That's fine.
Yeah, you can fuck off. You just like the idea of marrying old men and killing them.
Wizards live for a really long time, so...
Yeah, but he's already
he's not
fucking
a
old.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not a man. He's a demigod, so...
Okay, Demiman. Fine.
I know. I've just said about the really quick about the being bad at doing the quickfire round, but just super quick thing.
So it's okay when you
am I
do
the
it.
only one that thinks in the movies they really, 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 really poorly put across that Gandalf is not just a dude?
Yeah,
Yeah, because I didn't know that, and I've read the books.
Yeah, he's... Yeah, he's not a human.
Yeah.
He's equivalent in godliness, like mythicalness, as the big baddie that he fights on the bridge.
Balrog?
Yeah.
Yes, they're like equivalent levels of good and evil of the same sort of.
Yeah, but he doesn't
hierarchy.
have the hugeness, and I'd probably want to fuck the Balrog, I'm going to be honest.
Fair.
He's got a hot piece of ass.
Last email. Farsia Shanus,
Hey, Shanus.
Lord of the Duck Butter.
Oh, good, that's back.
They feel sorry for me now getting lots of pictures of cocks, because apparently you asked for them, Snipe. Although I haven't got any, so he sent one. It's a beautiful cock.
Oh, good.
Oh.
It's a pretty colourful chicken.
Good. Good.
So yeah,
Spoilers.
send Drummer Matt pictures of cute chickens, because all chickens are cute.
Yes. Snipe.
Yeah.
Is Nigel Stormcaller a good name for a dog?
Yes.
Fucking yes, it is.
It's a good name for a baby.
Just
Just
Nigel.
go and name someone's baby Nigel Stormcaller.
Honestly, Nigel is just a good name for any pet. Like, can you imagine having a budgie and calling it Nigel? That'd be
It's like,
great.
our Nigel got on top of the fridge again.
Or a cat called Nigel.
Oh yeah, and you could call it like you could call him Nige,
Yeah.
like Drummer Matt used to call me, and it drove me fucking bananas because I wasn't a cat or a budgie. Or you can have a mouse called Nigel.
Yeah.
All of those really small hamsters.
We're not just going to list pets now.
Just list all of the
I
animals.
just want pets.
Okay, very last thing before
Okay.
we can end this madness. One last fuck, marry, kill.
Okay.
Snake. Solid snake. Snake. Snake Plissken from Escape from New York. And Snake. Mia from Monsters Museum.
Museum.
I have...
Oh, Musume.
Musume,
It's
yes.
a trash anime where it's just a bunch of girls going, I forget that I have tits and I'm going to just force them onto a boy. It's a really cringy harem anime. It's awful.
Okay. I
You really don't like it.
I really
I
hate
have
it.
picture evidence. And here's the picture of a cock as well. The cock isn't in Fuck My Kill.
You see, you said, here's the picture of the cock as well, and it was just Kurt Russell. I'm like, well...
So there you
Yeah.
go. There's your 3 snakes.
I think really you're the snake expert here.
Yeah.
Oh, I really am. Yes. Oh, I am. Okay, so I'm gonna kill... I can't remember her name, but she's the one who goes, Darling. That's her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna kill her with
Fair.
a fucking smile on my face. I am going to fuck Snake Plissken and then live out the rest of my life in holy matrimony with Solid Snake because Metal Gear 4 doesn't exist, so he's just going to stay young and hot forever.
I like how the image used is like the Metal Gear 2 era. I think that's actually the Smash Brothers model.
It is the Smash Brothers model. Why do I know that? Because I look at pictures of Snake all day.
Where he's got quite a prominent mullet for you to nuzzle into when you get cold at
Are you
night.
kidding? That's what you grab onto.
That's why you like him so much, you bloody Australian. This explains so much.
Hey, fuck you, dude.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No.
And on that startling realization, the podcast is ending. Everybody go home.
Everyone evacuate. This has been...
Evacuate the building. The exits for this podcast are located on the right and the left, at the front and the rear of the vehicle.
Yes. Just any way you can, leave. Thank you so much for listening to this oral hallucinatory nightmare. I've been Snipe.
I've been Wib, I suppose.
And Drummer Matt has been Gary. So, I have to end it stupidly as well. Goodbye, everybody, and thank you for watching. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.